Hello, dear listeners. This is Proven Paradox, the DM of this little adventure. Thank you for listening to the first episode of what is eventually going to be called Ragtag Bag of Bastards. Worth noting that in this first episode, we hadn't quite figured out our identity yet and had a much more generic name. So, hope you can get over that for the first episode and the first 3 episodes, really, as we start figuring out what kind of game this is going to be. I'm very excited for this. I think that you guys are all going to have fun, because we certainly did. And thank you again for listening to Ragtag Bag of Bastards.
All right, welcome. So this is going to be the first episode of Adventures in Leyline. This is going to be a D&D 5th edition game run by me and played by these people. So I'll start with myself. I'm Proven Paradox. You can call me Docs. I've been playing D&D for over a decade, DMing for almost as long because it's hard to find DMs, it turns out. That'll often be me. But that's okay. DMing is fun. Yes. So that voice was KQ. Hi, KQ.
Hi, so my name is Amanda. I am Komodo here on Discord. I am an artist and a amateur game developer, and I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons, since I was in high school, but I stopped for a very long time, and I'm just getting back into it. I'm very excited today.
Yay. Next we've got, let's go with, Squirrel Bro.
Hello, I am Scott. I go by Squirrel Bro on Twitter, Tumblr, all that good stuff. And I'm relatively new to Dungeons and Dragons. This is my second game, but the first one only had a couple of sessions in it. I'm still a relative newbie, but I'm very excited to get into this.
Yeah, the game that collapses after a couple of sessions is unfortunately very common. Hopefully we can be the outlier here. Finally, we have Weatherwax.
Hi, my name's Renee. I go by Weatherwax on Discord. Everywhere else on the internet, you can find me under Core to the Core. I am a designer and illustrator. I am brand new to the wonderful world of Dungeons and Dragons. What I know is from listening or watching other people play. So I'm looking forward to trying it out myself.
Yes, it's always fun to introduce a new player. So as we have one complete newbie and one relative newbie, I'm going to make this game a little more traditional than my usual setup. Because we've got a show, there are certain stops that all D&D players need to take at some point. And, I see no reason to fight against the traditions there. So we're going to go a little more traditional than my usual game. And I also really like this setup because it's good to have an experienced player on the player's side who can give tactical advice and the like without the DM. If the DM is the only experienced player, I know what's going to happen. So me giving tactical advice to new players who don't necessarily know the rules is difficult, just because I can't be neutral on this subject. So the fact that we've got KQ on the other side, who's been playing a fair bit, she's in 2 other games that I run, so I know that she knows what she's doing. So I can rely on her to give you guys the tactical advice that I know you're going to need. That's nice.
Yay, responsibility.
Yes.
Yep. KQ, you get to hold our hand as we wander through the darkness.
Thanks, Mom!
I am playing the melee.
And I did not tell her that that's what was going on here before this. So this might be news to her, and I love it. All right. So let's start getting into the game. So this game is going to take place in the world of Kalmarov. It is my own setting, and that's totally not an excuse for me to just make things up as I go along, really. So a few things about this world. This is a high-tech setting. I've been calling it monotech. It's not quite modern in some ways, but also far more than modern in other ways. It's certainly not a medieval setting, and there's going to be magic everywhere, whereas the DMG talks about magic as if it's supposed to be a mysterious and unknowable thing. In my setting, magic is a science almost. Everyone is familiar with magic, and there's so much magic to go around that I've actually given my players the Magic Initiate feat for free, so they can all cast spells to an extent. And that will extend to NPCs. So be aware that if you're talking to some nobody on the street, he might magic missile you if you give him lip.
Scott.
You were supposed to make intimidated sounds at that.
Oh, so no.
I was just
Oh,
staring at
jeez.
Scott's
Oh
icon.
no.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, great.
Oh,
I'm
no.
so all right. You guys will not survive the night.
I gotta
before
roll a
we-
new character already.
Yeah, probably. Have backups in mind. So before we actually get into the game, I'm going to go ahead and give you a content warning now. I am a foul-mouthed person, and also I will be playing NPCs who are not necessarily nice people, and they will speak the way people would speak. So if you are sensitive to foul language or crude content, now is your time to back out.
Oh man, I gotta go, guys. It's nice playing with you.
Sorry, Renee.
All right, take it easy. So now that that bitch is gone, how about we?
Oh.
No, that's wrong. That was wrong. I apologize for that.
I accept your apology because it wasn't meant with ill intent.
All right, so there we go. And I think, is there anything else to say, folks?
When you were saying mana tech, you meant MANA and then tech, right?
Yes, mana.
Mana. Okay, I can say the word mana apparently. Just learned.
No, a lot of people read it as mana. I read it as mana. I know what you mean when you say mana.
Okay.
They're both fine. I'm not going to be stuck up about pronunciation unless I'm playing an NPC who would be. And those exist, so get ready.
To man it.
You immediately take 5 pun damage. KQ can tell you of my intolerance for puns, so be ready for it. Alright, so I think it's time we should get into the game properly. So, we start in the city of Leyline, which is the capital of the nation of Eldamir. This is the human-dominated nation, but it's also a very egalitarian nation that accepts all comers, basically. So there are a lot of non-humans running around Eldamir, and it turns out all 3 of you are in those numbers. So for your own individual reasons, you have come from outside of Leyline to the city to find your fortunes. And you all have your own reasons. Maybe they'll come up, maybe they won't. Who knows? It's D&D. So after about a week or so of looking around, you have all found your way to the Rainy Day Tavern, which is located within the district of Leyline, commonly known as Shadeside. It's known as this because it is beneath a gigantic floating landmass that is always casting it in shade. The landmass above, Skyside, is known for being a very well-to-do area where nobles and the wealthy make their homes. Shadeside is significantly less glamorous, but it's a good place to start. There's a lot of stuff going on in Shadeside, and through your various inquiries and the like, you have found your way there because it's a good place to start making a name for yourselves in Leyline. You've been staying at a place called the Rainy Day Tavern as your base of operations. This tavern's name is ironic for multiple reasons. First of all, because of the gigantic island above you, it doesn't rain here. There's always something stopping the rain. Secondly, because the proprietor is a man named Benjamin Fairweather. This is a friendly man with wavy, dark brown hair to his shoulders. He has brown eyes, a big red nose, rosy cheeks, and a silly smile. He has this endearingly dopey air about him, kind of like a puppy. He's a human man, average height, kind of portly, maybe in his 40s, maybe early 50s. Typically clad in loose, weathered clothing. He has a dark green jacket that he's always wearing. And he's also wearing a fancy-looking silver key that hanging around his neck like a pendant that kind of stands out a bit in his otherwise cheap and practical attire. And he has made deals with you guys. So we're going to start with Alezi. So, Alezi, you came to Leyline from Northwall, a city to the north. You've lived in Eldamir pretty much all your life, but being a half-orc, that has come with some expectations, I suppose, and some societal pressures. So, for the benefit of the other players and the viewers, half-orcs are actually very unusual to see. Not because of the usual D&D reasons, but because orcs are far more civilized in Talmara. In other worlds, they were denied a homeland, and that made them much more violent. But here in Talmara, they've found their homeland, the land of Dalrock to the north. And as such, they've all kind of chilled out a bit, and are a lot more welcome in society. They are still a tribal people, but they're civilized, and they trade, and they don't raid, and they are much more accepted. However, for reasons that may not be clear to all of you, half-orcs are uncommon, but Alezi is one of them, and you've come to the Rainy Day Tavern, and Benjamin has hired you on as a part-time bouncer in order to pay your way in this inn. So you're staying here at a reduced rate. Next, we have Flynn, the half-elf. So you came here from Trallendor, the elven nation to the west. And again, for your own reasons, half-elves are much more common than half-orcs, so your appearance wouldn't be considered that unusual. But you're still getting settled in, figuring out your way in Leyline, and you made your way to the Rainy Day Tavern, and Ben hired you on as waitstaff, so you get to stay here at a reduced rate. But I'm sure Flynn is not the sort to stay a waiter for all of his life, so we'll see how that goes. And finally, we have Oona, who came here from far-off Joagon, a tiefling. And again, for her own reasons, she's made her way to Leyline, and the Rainy Day Tavern has a small stage where you can play your music, and it's not really, you wouldn't call it panhandling because your music is actually quite good, but others might. But you still make enough to get by here, and in the somewhat simple accommodations here at the Rainy Day Tavern. So, we start here in the tavern, as tradition dictates that all games must begin, and it's a fairly typical night. Alright, so what's Flynn up to this perfectly ordinary night?
Well, would you say that he's the bartender or taking drinks to tables?
He'd be more like taking drinks and food to table.
Okay, then I suppose that's what he's doing right now. Has jet black hair and dark green eyes and sort of tanned skin as if he spent time outdoors, which he does very often. And he has loose-fitting, billowy shirts with the Caribbean sleeves, all fancy, and a tiny bit of scruff on his chin, as if he doesn't particularly like to shave every single day, which he doesn't.
I totally know how that one feels. Alright, so, Oona, what are you up to?
Oona, I think, is going to be, because you said she panhandles on stage, basically.
Yes.
But slightly better than panhandling. I imagine she's just finishing up a set on stage. And then after that, she's just going to tune her instrument a little, because it kind of went off a bit during the performance. She doesn't want that to happen for the next set. She's very particular about her instruments. Oona is somewhat short. She's 5'3", with a slim build. She has horns like a ram's. They're not terribly long. They're still relatively short because of her younger age. She has very fluffy, curly purple hair, dark purple hair as well, with golden eyes. She's wearing sort of a modified robe. Joagon is a very cold climate, and Leyline has a very warm climate, and it's proving to be somewhat uncomfortable for her, but she's adjusting.
Did you mention purple skin?
I don't remember, but she has purple skin.
Yeah, that's pretty important.
I thought I did. I don't remember now.
I don't think you did. Like, that's super important.
Yes, she's very purple overall.
Alright, cool.
Una's very purple.
Right.
Woo,
So,
Alezi.
yes, now we're down to Alezi. So what are you up to this perfectly average night in Leyline?
Alright, so Alezi, working as a bouncer, is up front. She's by the front door, leaning against the wall with her arms folded. She stands around 5'7", very broad, muscular woman. She's extremely masculine. One could mistake her for a man if they didn't look too closely. She's got long dark hair, tied very loosely on the ends. Her skin is olive, not the undertone that would be described as olive usually, the actual color olive. And her eyes are bright green. She's wearing a extremely fluffy pelt around her shoulders, attached to a cloak that's hiding most of her body. And she just has a very serious look on her face as she's looking around the inn, watching for any signs of trouble. But, every so often her eyes glaze over from boredom, because it's a very average night, as you said.
Indeed, or so you might believe. No. So, Flynn, you see Ben, who's working the bar, and to reiterate, this is the guy who runs the Rainy Day Inn. You see him wave you and Oona to come towards him.
I walk
I head
forward.
over there.
Evening, guys. So, you're right. I know you have bigger ambitions than this little inn. You know, that's fine. But I got a customer who might benefit from some help, and I was thinking maybe you and the lady out front might be able to help him out. Could one of you go get her?
I'll run and go get her real quick.
All right. And you guys have been staying at this inn long enough that you probably know each other a little bit by now. You at least know each other's names.
Oi, Alezi, come here.
And Alezi perks up, walks over to Oona, who's flagging her down.
Ben's wanting to talk to us about something. Come over to the bar. Come with me.
Yeah, sure, alright. She just stalks over to the bar with Oona.
Once Alezi's at the bar, Ben beckons for you guys to come closer and lowers his voice a little bit. Right, so, see that guy over there? And he points to what appears to be a goblin sitting at the table. You guys have probably seen goblins around town a little bit. Much like orcs, there are some that are like orcs in that they're more civilized, and there are others that aren't. But there are definitely goblins in the city living as just citizens. So he points to the goblin and goes, "That guy there, his name's Tok Tok, and I've heard he's looking for some workers, but you got to be willing to take on some potentially."
I start working over before he even finishes this.
Ben continues on without regarding Flynn's departure. Potentially dangerous work. You guys interested? Go talk to him.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Yeah. And he goes back to polishing a glass.
Alezi just nods to Ben and heads over right behind Flynn.
Alright.
Yeah,
Oona kind of
obviously
lingers briefly at the bar.
Obviously, I'm there first.
Right.
So I say, what's the pay, big man?
The goblin looks up. He's definitely not a big man. So this is a green-skinned goblin.
Yeah,
with...
that's why I said it.
Right. I know. I'm trying to give some dry, sarcastic humor. Right. So this is a green-skinned goblin man, as most goblins are, but there are other colors in green. He has big ears, which, is like most goblins, but there are other things than big ears, and wild black hair that sticks out in every direction. And smell a bit of smoke, so that hair might not have originally been black, but it's been singed down so that it's just black now. Even by goblin standards, he's a little shorter than usual, and he has a big hook-shaped nose on his face and tiny beady black eyes that have been magnified by a pair of thick glasses. He's wearing a shabby patched up shirt and pants with all sorts of scorch marks and chemical stains on them, which is like, goblins looking a little shabby is not unusual, but you don't usually see chemical burns on the clothing. So he looks up and says, "What you want?"
I said, what's the job pay, big man?
Going straight to the pay? Okay, I guess I can respect that. So, I need you guys to get something for me. Words. Sorry, one too many. Ugh. I need you guys to get something for me that I would like to get back alive, you see. You bring it back to me dead, it'll be 150 gold coins. If you bring it back to me alive, I'll double that.
Each or as a pot.
As a pot.
I don't know, guys. That doesn't sound like what? Tell me, sir. What exactly are we even getting for you?
That would have been the better first question, and he glares to Flynn. Right. So, first of all, my name is Tok Tok Spinning Dog, and I'm
Did you say Tok Spinning Cog?
Yes, that is what he said.
I like him already.
Indeed. And I'm a entrepreneur, you could say. I had some goods scheduled to come to me that were stolen recently, and they've gone off my radar, and I need somebody to go find them. There might have been other things in this shipment. I'm not sure what all else was in there, but what I'm looking for is a salamander flame worm. It's what it sounds like, a big snake sort of thing.
Is it on fire? I want to clarify that right now. Is the flame worm on fire?
Usually.
Renee, I think you should do a roll.
There are multiple roles that could be interesting here.
I want to insight check him, because I don't trust his motives.
Yes, that is a very good idea. Or you could try asking him more questions. Or you could let me finish off the spiel I was going to give. Right, so, yes, the flame worm is typically on fire. I mean, that's why I'm interested in getting it. But anyway, it was a shipment that went missing over in the Northern Ridge. So, the Northern Ridge, none of you are actually from Leyline, so you don't hear a lot of people talking about the Northern Ridge. Alezi, on your way into the city, you would have passed near the Northern Ridge, and you would have. So, the city of Leyline is located inside a gigantic crater, and the Northern Ridge is the exterior of the crater on the northern side of town. Alezi would have seen it from a distance, and it looks like there was, at least at one time, a lot of building and digging going on in the Northern Ridge. You could see cranes still erected. They don't look like they're actually being used right now, recently, but they're cranes up, and they've got these big gouges into their sides, and it's not entirely clear what they were being used for. He goes on, so I need you guys to go in. If you, the thing was being transported in this fireproof container, so if nobody opened it or if the container wasn't damaged, it should still be in there. I heard back from this shipment caravan, I guess. It was a delivery group that had a lot of stuff in it. They went off my radar about a day ago, and the worm could probably last for 3 days or so unattended. I need you guys to go get there before it starves to death in its cage, if you can. And yeah, it's 300 gold if it's alive, 150 if it's not. Like, even if I only get back a corpse, there's still shit I could do with it. And if you're interested, I'll let you know where it is. I'm going to be here around the same time every night. So, yeah, you want to do it? Or you got questions? I mean, I'm here. So a couple of things. First off, insight was already mentioned. That might be useful. You could also roll history to find out more about the Northern Ridge, or Arcana to find out more about this fireworm.
I'd like to roll Arcana to find out more about this fireworm.
All right, roll them.
I'm just doing the D20, right?
Yes, and unless it's a damage roll, it is always going to be a 1d20.
Okay.
Welcome to Dungeons & Dragons. You're going to roll d20 a lot.
Woo! First roll of the game.
Woohoo!
The one who knows nothing about Dungeons and Dragons. I rolled a 7.
So on your character sheet,
Yeah.
you have the called for Arcana. That is a skill under Intelligence. So you want to add your Arcana modifier, which is a 4. If you don't have your character sheet up, make sure it is up because it's super important. I have all of your character sheets
I have it.
up. All right, cool.
So it's an 11 then?
All right, so you rolled an 11. You don't really know much about this. This is not, extraplanar creatures are not necessarily your specialty as a song mage. But you have heard of, it's usually called a fire snake. So you're not sure about if this is the same thing or if he's just calling it a worm instead of a snake. But you've heard of, it's basically a piece of elongated rock that's often on fire and has eyes. You don't know a whole much more about it other than that.
And it's only on an extra-dimensional plane?
Yes.
It doesn't exist in nature in this area?
That's right. This is probably you suspect this is a creature that has been brought over from the plane of fire.
Okay.
Okay, so Alezi's been staying back behind the other two, just listening to this guy, and I'm going to roll an insight check for her.
Go for it. You can roll more than one thing, by the way.
She don't know shit.
Oh, hold on. You've played a lot of 3.5. The numbers are actually a little lower in 5th edition, so you might know something.
So, Amanda, what were you trying to get me to roll?
Oh, I was gonna have you roll Arcana while you were asking about the worm, because it's like I was trying to get you more information.
Okay, no, that's good. I was like, not insight, because I don't got proficiency in that. I don't want to be the one to do that.
All right,
natural one.
Woo!
First natural one of the game.
Yep. So my first roll was a 1. This is going to be wonderful. So Alezi definitely gets the sense that he's trying to rush you guys into this and possibly not telling you everything.
Okay, so oh, I'm sorry, Scott. Were you saying something?
I just said I knew it.
Okay, so Alezi is going to kind of nudge herself into the conversation, and she's going, okay, so you said you haven't heard from the people that were transporting this, right?
Right.
So how do you know where it is?
Well, I was he's visibly panicking at this point. One of my friends has divination spells, all right? So I was keeping an eye on him. I was having him keep an eye on him.
Okay, she quirks her brow at that and kind of looks over her shoulder at Flynn.
So that makes me think, big man, that it's worth a little bit more to you than 300. If you care so much about it.
If you bring it back alive, I'll give you 400.
What about dead?
I mean, it's a whole lot less useful to me dead.
Yeah, but if you're going to raise the price for it being alive, then why not dead? At least go halvesies, man. Come on.
Fine. 200 if it's dead.
And you don't know any information.
I kind of slyly do a behind the back high five with Oona.
I totally approve.
Alezi has no interaction with this high five. And she's just going to ask, and you have no information on whoever raided this shipment?
Right. You guys are new in town, ain't you?
No.
Well, you said a history check, so let me do that now, because Flynn's got a pretty big understanding of history.
That's fair.
Whoa.
All right.
Sweet.
Yes, he does.
Woo!
So, 22. Even back in Trallendor, you had heard a bit about the northern ridge of Leyline. The story goes that once upon a time, there is construction going on trying to prepare Leyline to accept airship travel. Airships are a thing, but no, they are like Zeppelin style. And they're, yes, who doesn't? Airships are wonderful. But the thing is, they're not terribly practical transport. So this is very much a rich person's joyride sort of way to travel. But part of the reason for that is because there's not much infrastructure for them. So the deal was that they were trying to dig up a section of the multiple sections rather of the northern ridge in order to enable airship travel in and out of Leyline. Because at the time, airships couldn't get a whole lot of altitude, so they wouldn't actually be able to fly over the ridge. Since then, airship technology has improved significantly, and so there's no need for cutting down the ridge like that. Airships could just float over the ridges of Leyline on their own power. And so the construction was abandoned. but not quite intentionally. They had left a whole lot of crevices and caves that were perfect for the sort of creepy crawlies that parents use to scare their children straight. So it's definitely a place of rumor and mystery. Not a lot of people go there because it is considered dangerous, and it's also the kind of thing that if you've got some kid that's misbehaving in Leyline City, parents might invent a boogeyman to come out of the Northern Ridge to take them away at night for misbehaving. So that's the kind of place that the Northern Ridge is.
I know this is Flynn's insight check, but I just want to know, is it also an area with a lot of banditry? Do we know that?
You wouldn't know that because you didn't make a history check.
Okay, so I can't ask for Flynn?
Well, you can make one now.
Yeah, you can attempt. That's what I was trying to get you to attempt the history check now.
Oh, okay. Yes.
But for Flynn's sake, that it definitely is known as a place where gangs and bandits hide out.
Okay.
That's part of the reason it's so dangerous. And Oona, you may attempt that history check as well if you like.
It's going to go badly, but okay.
No, it's not.
24.
You rolled a natural 20. And because you're new to D&D, you don't know that that's something to be celebratory of.
How do you do? I've never actually had to do a negative mod because I'm used to playing a bard in your other game, and she has hella mods. So, is it plus -1?
No, it's -1.
Okay, so just -1. Okay. Oh, hey, that's not
you
bad.
So let's do Alezi first because it's a little more reasonable for her. You live in Northwall, which, it's not close to Leyline, but it's still in the same nation, so it makes sense that you've heard of the Northern Ridge and its problems. Oona, you would have actually, you're a bard, you're a chronicler, and so with your interest in writing, you would have actually examined stories and the like that actually include the Northern Ridge as a setting. There's rumors that there are all kinds of horrid things in the deepest depths. There are even rumors that the tunnels of the ridge were there before the construction began, kind of honeycombing the ridge and going who knows how far deep down. You've actually seen news reports that there is a significant problem with gray ooze in those caverns. It's a type of slime that eats metal and corrodes anything it touches and will attempt to actually eat people by engulfing them and slowly dissolving them. So that is something that happened. That is all the other stuff is rumors, but the oozes are definitely there. So you're aware that that's a problem.
Okay.
So now that you all know all of this, maybe you wouldn't have asked about why they vanished, right? Because there's a lot of reasons they could have vanished in the Northern Ridge.
Well,
No, I'd still ask.
Leslie just asked if he knew anything about who took them because, hey, people have enemies. People have particular enemies.
I don't necessarily know much. There's a whole lot of bandits up there. It was... He lowers his voice. Listen, some of the stuff in that caravan was not necessarily legal, okay?
You were smuggling?
Shut up. Don't yell like that, please. Please don't yell like that.
You were smuggling.
Now, for what it's worth, you guys are in Shade Side, where a lot of shady business takes place, so nobody gives a damn about somebody yelling that somebody was smuggling. Probably half the people in this place have smuggled things in and out of the city before.
Including Flynn.
Possibly including Flynn, and even in his short time here in Leyline. But yeah, he goes like, yeah, right. It wasn't necessarily all legal stuff, including the worm. So they were trying to go through without going through customs, okay? And there might have been other stuff in there. There might have been other stuff that was alive in there. So you need to be careful. That's part of the reason I didn't just go get it myself, okay? I ain't a fighter. And you guys, he lingers on Oona for a moment as he says this, and it's like, most of you guys look like fighters to me, all right? So, you want to make some money?
I just got one question for you, big man.
Stop calling me big man.
Isn't that your name?
No. Call me Talk Talk.
Talk. Right. I remembered that the whole time.
All right. So, you got other stuff. that you were trying to smuggle in. If we
All I
find
was-
if we find anything that we like that ain't your worm, can we keep
I
it?
don't care. The only thing in there that was mine was the worm. Okay.
I'm in.
Yeah. Like, do whatever you want with the other stuff. I don't care.
Okay, but you said some of the other stuff is alive too.
Maybe. I don't know what else was in there, but if they were smuggling a fireworm, stands to reason they might be smuggling other stuff. You know?
Una kind of like leans over towards Alezi and like kind of quietly goes, so those worms are like from another plane, so they might have brought that anything else from another plane also. I don't know if we want to mess with this. And
So
then
he's
that's it.
sending us after a fucking demon worm?
Basically.
Are you guys saying that loud enough that he would be able to hear?
No, I did it as an aside.
Alezi is staying with the same volume as Una.
All right, cool. So, was that a yes or a no?
It was I did it as like a whisper, but I like covered my mouth while I was doing it.
Flynn's already in. Flynn already wants to do it.
Well,
So, like,
he
this
might
is-
want to convince his party members.
All right, so Tok is looking at you two, whispering to each other, and he's like, "Look, these guys, if they were that impressive, they wouldn't have gotten lost in the grid, okay? I don't think that they were carrying anything that dangerous. And if they were, then it's probably fled into the caves or something by now. I don't think you have to worry too much about it. Like, it's not like they were smuggling in a Baylor or anything stupid like that. You understand? And like the worm is only this big, and he holds them out, his arms out about as wide as he can hold them out, but he's a goblin, so that's only like 3.5 feet.
All right.
Oh, it's a baby.
So, so I'm gonna roll another quick insight check right here.
All right,
I am not rolling too high today.
you're doing okay. I mean, we want to talk about not rolling high.
Wow.
Tok is bad at this.
Yeah, he's not a great liar, apparently. So you get the impression that he is not being dishonest here. Like, he honestly thinks that there's not anything in there that would be that dangerous.
Alright, so, she, turns back to Una, and she says, alright, you seem to know a lot more about this thing than me, so what do you think?
Tok is looking at you with pleading eyes, Una.
I mean, if it's just a baby, maybe we should at least go pick it up and make sure it's fine.
For what it's worth, with your Arcana roll before, you have
Huh.
no idea how big these things get. This might be an adult, this might be a newborn. You don't actually know.
I think Una's going off of the fact that it's small, therefore it is a baby.
That's fine.
Can Flynn try an Arcana check on the worm? He's got decent Arcana.
You can try.
I think he's got better Arcana than me.
Alezi's not gonna try, because she doesn't really give a fuck.
Ah, whoops. What was the thing again? It was
Bang
roll. Yeah,
Yeah,
got it.
exclamation point roll.
yeah. I just forgot it for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only a couple of lines above you. Just look up a little. There you go.
Wow. Flynn, you're on a roll today.
Yeah, you're going to annoy me. I can already tell.
Well,
All right.
remember he's got that -5 pun damage from earlier.
Right, that's true. You're almost dead already, so we don't have to worry about it.
All
So-
you have to do to balance it out is make me do strength checks, because I'm -1 on strength checks.
And then you roll a 19, and it doesn't matter.
No, that's when he gets the nat 20, so...
I mean, you are anonymously high on this average. Anyway, let's not linger on that. So, you have heard of these before. Again, they are normally called fire snakes, not fire worms. It's a type of creature that comes from the plane of fire, and they're used kind of as pets by an intelligent race of fire-based humanoids known as salamanders. They do get bigger than what the goblin is indicating. It's like an average one is like 6 feet long, so this is a relatively young one,
Teenager.
and maybe something
Not-
like
not
that.
quite a baby.
But yeah, they're They're basically like snakes that are made of stone with eyes that are that can produce constant heat and can produce very, very hot flames.
Okay, Flynn turns to Alezi and Oona and says, "Listen, I don't care about how dangerous it is. My middle name is Danger, and the 400 coins that he's given us for this, it's shit. I think it's shit.
Hey,
but but I think
400
that
coins is a lot.
but I think that with all the illegal stuff they were trying to get through there, we'll find something more worthwhile there than that
Like a whole
400
lot.
coins."
So it's like
Hey,
it's so what you're trying to tell me is that there's treasure in them there hills.
That's what I'm thinking.
I'm in.
I think 400's a lot.
It's okay, Talk Talk. We know you spent all of your money paying to have it smuggled in already anyway.
I did.
Alright. So Alezi looks from Flynn to Oona and then down to Talk Talk. And her shoulders just slump as she sighs and says, "Yeah, sure, I guess I'm in."
Great.
Woo, we're going on a party.
Great. Thank you if you bring it back. Nice knowing you if you don't come back. And, yeah, is there anything else? Why are you still here?
Yeah.
Flynn says, "Catch you later, big man," and then walks away.
I'm not big man.
Wait, he never gave us the directions.
Yes, that's what I wanted to know. Too, Talk Talk. You had somebody giving it. You
I'm
said you
leaving
had
that to
somebody
you
with
guys. I just wanted to cool one-liner it.
Okay, well, as Flynn is walking away, Alezi puts her hand on the table and is like, "I'm still here for the directions. He can go get lost."
Oona has also remained going, "Yeah, I don't want to be lost with worms."
Yeah, he doesn't seem very bright. Anyway, so here's what you need to do. And he gives you instructions. You guys know where the Northern Ridge is. It's kind of a mountain surrounding the town, so it's not hard to find. And you guys could go there right now. It is kind of evening-ish, like the sun is starting to set, but it's also like less than an hour's walk away. My voice. The goblin voice is not easy to do. Water. Oh, God.
Does he give us more directions than the Northern Ridge, or does he kind of give like, I think it's in this area?
He gives you a general area that you can get to.
Okay.
And it's not technically illegal to go into the Northern Ridge, but it is kind of discouraged by the town guards. So might be worth, being a little subtle about getting in there.
Oh boy.
It's certainly a matter of suspicion if you get spotted, because that's where the bandits go.
Alright.
So what do? You've got your instructions, and you know how to get there.
Well, first we have to go track down Flynn since he ran off after
I
his
just
one-liner.
I walked across the room. I'm still here.
That is a terrible one-liner exit then.
I have to take off my waiter apron and all that.
Before Oona and Alezi leaves, he's like, "Is he just standing there?"
Yeah, he's dumb. Just don't bother him.
Okay. Good luck.
We'll need it.
Oona kind of waves Flynn over to the door, like, "Come on, hurry up."
Alezi is the first one out the door.
Una's just like kind of meandering at the door, like, "Come on, hurry up! I'm holding the door, but I'm leaving. Also, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up."
I was just taking off my apron and leaving my stuff and coming.
Yeah, sure, okay. Let's go.
I can't believe you didn't take off your apron the entire time we were talking to Talk Talk.
Alright, so, Alezi's gonna just head straight for where she can get out of the city. She's not being subtle, in the least, despite any warnings.
Well, it's still technically within the city limits.
Okay.
Like, you're not going to be passing through any of the gates to get to the Northern Ridge. Otherwise, you'd have to go through customs, and that's the whole point of going through the Northern Ridge.
So you don't have to go through customs?
Exactly.
Well, she's heading straight there, but she's going to try to stay in this shady side of town as best she can before getting there.
Let me bring up my map. Because I've made a map. Aha.
Una's just following Alezi because
Okay.
she's more familiar with the area than she is, so she's just assuming that they're going the right way.
Yeah, Flynn's following too.
All right, so you can get to the northern ridge, staying entirely within Shadeside. So
Alright, Alezi figures that, since it is the, shady part of town, she would, have better luck just getting into Northridge from there without any guards giving her grief.
that is a conceivable way to go about it. Don't worry about the natural 20 that I just rolled.
We're pretending it didn't happen.
Yeah. Well, what didn't happen?
Nothing.
All right.
The final boss dragon suddenly appears.
The town is burned to the ground.
Roll new characters. So, you guys are all heading to the ridge. Just walking there.
Yep.
All right.
Actually, how do we know how far it is by foot?
You'd guess it's not quite an hour to walk there.
Okay, to the ridge or to the actual area we need to search?
To the ridge.
Okay. How far is it to the area we need to search?
Maybe another 30 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
I mean, you're already on the northern side of town in Shadeside, so you're already pretty close. There might be.
Why didn't he go get this himself? Alezi, why didn't he go get this himself again?
Because he's a weakling.
Oh, well, that was
Flynn would like to check, just glance, see if anyone's following them.
Perception, please. Type. Don't roll into something on the side of your desk or something.
I'm sorry, that was, Cookie. She was
Flynn
Ah,
sees
okay.
nothing. Flynn sees nothing.
No, everything is fine. No one's following you. Nobody's really paying attention to you. Everything is fine.
Everything is awesome. Everything is great when you work as a team.
This is like perfect teamwork.
Speaking of team, no, I got nothing. Never mind.
Okay.
I had an idea and then I was like, no, that makes no sense.
Alright, so as soon as, if nothing's gonna stop them, as soon as they get into the Northridge area, Alezi's gonna look behind her and point to Flynn, and she's gonna say, you're a quiet type, right? We're gonna get in bandit country. You should get ahead.
I say, what's that? And I point behind you.
Alezi just squints at you.
I'm trying something here. I can't make a deception roll?
You can.
No.
Well,
No, I'm going to say no. No.
okay.
That's dumb, and you're dumb.
I'm just trying to make her look the other way, so then I go stealth, and
Right,
then...
I know what you're trying to do, but fuck you, that doesn't work.
Okay. Yes, I'm the quiet type, when I need to be.
Alright, she just kind of points with her thumb, motions for him to get in front. Like,
Okay,
we need someone stealthy.
Okay, I go in front, stealthing along the way, and then make a stealth check.
Yes.
Roll 1d20 plus stealth. Ooh, that's a big number.
That's
Not
not
bad.
horrible.
So, he's not wrong. He can be quiet when he needs to be. So, he's up front doing the scouting thing. So, let's see. So, you guys are going through Northridge, and much as the rumors might... You guys have probably never had reason to actually be here. Even Flynn, with his illicit activities, probably hasn't actually been here to the Northern Ridge yet. But the rumors are actually quite true. There's a lot of caverns and tunnels crisscrossing through this ridge beneath all of the rusty cranes that clearly haven't been used in a very long time. It's weird that no one ever came to take them down, now that you think about it. That's odd, and totally not foreshadowing for something that happens later. So, you're going through. Flynn is up front being quiet. How far behind are Alezi and Oona?
Am I taking up the rear, or am I kind of following behind Flynn?
Alezi
'Cause
would
I'm
have gotten
quite squishy.
behind Oona to watch her.
Okay.
So, it's up to Una's pace.
Una's probably close enough that she can see Flynn, but like far enough back that she's almost probably going to fall behind if Alezi wasn't behind her, making sure she was still going forward because she keeps getting distracted by the scenery.
Speaking of the scenery, let's talk about that a little bit. So, the Goblin's instructions have you going through some of these caverns, and they're mostly round holes that have been bored through by some kind of machine. The walls are very smooth and relatively symmetrical. Like clearly these tunnels were dug by some kind of boring device. And it's also fairly dry here. You get an occasional whiff of mildew, and there's a distant echo of water dripping, but by and large, it's just dry and dusty here. But you do occasionally come into more natural-looking cavern areas, stalactites and mites all over the place, more moist surroundings, the rocks glisten with moisture, there are occasionally little pools and all of that. So, Flynn, give me a perception check.
Perception 2.
All right.
Real quick, Alezi's also going to roll a perception now that she's in the back, just to keep glancing behind.
Okay. All right. So, there doesn't appear to be anyone following you. You cannot hear or see any evidence that you're being tailed. So, if anyone saw you, apparently they didn't actually care enough to follow. Up front, though, Flynn, you're sneaking around, trying to keep to the shadows and just generally be stealthy like a ninja. But you're stepping forward, and you notice that there's one of the walls you're trying to sidle up next to. It seems particularly wet and a lot more moldy than the rest of them. And you realize what's going on just in time to duck as it's like a liquid arm suddenly reaches out of the wall and swipes at you. You duck and it hits the wall with a wet slap. And now it is time for everyone to roll initiative.
Yes!
Yay!
Yay! So this is just the D20 again, yes?
Yeah, plus your initiative modifier.
Yeah.
Which is on your sheet. Toward top middle.
Top middle. Oh, okay.
4.
Natural 1 for Flynn.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I mean, if I'm gonna roll low,
as well?
it might as well be an initiative.
Get it out of your system.
Oh, hold on. I typed that in wrong. So it tried to add 1, so I think I only rolled a 1.
No, you rolled an 11.
Yeah.
Are you sure? Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, you did 1d20 plus 1.
All right. Yeah, you did it. You rolled 1d20 plus 1 correctly, so you're fine. All right. So first up is the gray ooze that just attempted to attack Flynn, and he is going to again make the attempt. So there, after its cover is blown, you see that this patch of moist moss that was kind of on the wall starts flowing like a living thing, and you see it coming towards you. It's just a gray blob all over this natural stone wall, and another arm forms out of its mass and attempts to slap it. I am dumb. All right, so what's your AC, Flynn?
15, that misses.
Yes. So you're once again you duck under it as it slaps against the wall uselessly. You see another mass of the same substance that's kind of just flopped onto the floor, starting to roil around you as well. All right. So let me actually organize initiative.
It is useful.
Yes. So next is going to be Oona.
And you said there's 2 of them?
Yes. You are about 50 feet away at this point. You're like Flynn was moving ahead of you guys, scouting it out. So you definitely need to close the gap if you want to get in close. But maybe you don't want to get in close. You're a bard. That's typically not your thing.
Okay. Then I would like to cast, because you said it's within 50 feet of me?
Yes, it is. You're 50 feet away.
Okay, is there only 1 or 2 of them?
There are 2.
How far away is the other one?
The other one is like 60 feet away. They're fairly close together, and Flynn is kind of like in the middle of it.
Okay. Then I want to use Firebolt
All right.
on the one that's closest to me.
That would be the one that just attacked Flynn.
Yeah.
Make an attack.
Okay. How do I do that?
So you're going to roll 1d20 and add your spell modifier, which is in your casting page. Your
Okay,
attack,
and that's my charisma, right?
that's your attack bonus box in your spell casting page.
Attack bonus. Oh, okay. I got a
Nice.
13.
13. That strikes. So it's a big target. Like, this is a big mass of crap on the wall. So it's hard to miss a section of wall. So you form the bolt in your hand and fire it off. Slams into it. Roll damage.
Okay, it's 1d10, and
Alright.
I don't add anything, right?
That's
Am I reading
correct.
this right? Okay. So same way, just 1 and then it's d10 instead of a d20 on this thing.
Yes. 4. So the firebolt smashes into your target, and like it ripples like a liquid as it gets hit, and doesn't seem to care that much about the fire. Like you get the smell of like burning in the air, and the ooze doesn't really respond to it.
Okay, guys, I've established that it is not flammable.
Flynn, it's your turn.
All right. Seeing that my friends are hella behind me, and I'm in the middle of the shit right now, I need to get the fuck away from here. So I'm going to use my bonus action to disengage and back up 30
All right.
feet.
Okay. So there's 30 feet between you and the oozes.
All right. And then I will use my action to use my bag of tricks and
Oh,
throw out
God.
one of my things. Throw out one of my things.
All right. Let's see what happens. Oh boy.
I roll a d8 and it says, and from that it decides what animal comes out of the thing.
That's correct.
Roll 1d8. It's a 6, which is a giant boar.
Okay. So, what everyone else sees is Flynn has this little bag, and he reaches into it and pulls out what looks like a ball of indistinct fuzz. You're tossing it at the ooze, I presume.
Yes.
So you toss it out, and when it lands, there's a flash of light, and then suddenly there's just this big boar that's looking really mean and really angry and staring at this ooze. For simplicity's sake, I'm going to say that the boar acts on your next turn. All right?
Yes, that's what the rules book says.
Okay, cool. I'm in the middle of getting the rules out because I have a lot more other things going on. Okay, so that was Flynn. Next is Alezi.
All right. So, Flynn is now 30 feet away from us.
That's right.
Okay, so she is going to actually run up and get in front of Flynn, sort of just guarding him with her shoulder. And I do believe her javelin has a range of 30, so she can hit the nearest one.
That's right.
All right, and so she's going to throw that javelin as hard as she can. 20.
All right, you hit. Roll for damage.
And we do not use our proficiency for damage, right?
That's correct.
8.
All right, so that seems significantly more effective than the fire. So it slams into the wall, and you hear a slight sizzle as the metallic tip of the javelin actually impacts the ooze. And the ooze actually there's a hole in the wall around where the ooze withdraws from the javelin, seemingly in pain.
All right.
The second ooze is a little bit further away from the rest of you, and is kind of crawling forward on the ground, and crawls about 10 feet closer. So that ooze is about 20 feet from Oona and Flynn, 20 feet from Alezi and Flynn, 50 feet from Oona, excuse me. And as it advances, there's a bubbling in its surface, and then suddenly a glob of acid spits out and hurtles towards Alezi.
All right.
Really? That's a
So,
one.
Alezi sidesteps.
Well, no, she doesn't even need to sidestep. It's so far off that you're not even completely sure that the glob was aimed at you.
Okay. Alezi is not impressed by the glob.
No, it wasn't an impressive performance. So the injured ooze continues crawling along the wall, getting 10 feet closer and spitting out a very similar ball of acid. This one is going at Flynn, and that's going to be plus... 1 second. Now that I have a summoned monster to deal with, I have to look at multiple monster stats, so that'll be only +1, so 11. That's also going to miss Flynn, but you have to actually sidestep. Like, that one was a little close.
Okie dokie.
Oona, it is your turn.
Nobody's injured, right?
Nope.
Okay, cool.
I mean, the ooze has been injured, but I think that's what you want.
I mean, she might feel minor twinge of sympathy for the ooze because it was just hanging out doing nothing, and then Flynn ran into it.
Oh, you're gonna be one of those bards.
It's a very small one because it does apparently spit acid. She's not interested in acid. Okay, so since fire didn't work, I want to try Eldritch Blast.
Okay, make your attack.
I've already forgotten how to do it again. I just roll a d20, right?
And add your spell attack modifier.
Yes, okay.
And you took them from Warlock, so that's still charisma based.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a solid hit. Roll for damage.
Okay, and I believe it's 1d10.
Mhm.
Yes.
Alright, what type
Fine.
of damage is that?
Let me go back and look. Components. It just says a beam of crackling energy streaks toward a creature within range. Make a ranged spell attack against the target. On a hit, the target takes 1d10 force damage.
Force.
Okay.
Alright, force is a very good damage type. So the fireball was not terribly impressive. This is much more so. Like, you hit it towards the top half, and like a good third of the ooze splats against the wall and kind of sizzles. That one ooze is barely still functioning.
Cool.
Flynn, your turn.
Okay, so Bag of Tricks says that on a bonus action I can command the creature. So
That's right.
So I will have my boar friend go straight up to the one that started the fight, that first attacked me, within 5 feet of it.
Okay.
And then I will use my movement to get back up to it, because I only went back my full movement, so I can go straight back up to it.
Okay.
And then I will attack it, and because my boar is within 5 feet of it, I get sneak attack damage if it hits.
Alright, so who attacks first?
The boar will attack first.
Alright, roll, it's +5.
Okay.
That'll
13.
hit.
Alright.
Alright. Damage is 2d6 + 3.
11.
Alright. So that ooze splats. And so the boar will take 4 acid damage as it slices into the creature, but the ooze becomes just a inert puddle on the ground at this point. It's just melted off and it's done.
Okay.
All right.
And I can't get over to the other one, can I?
You can, but you won't have anybody with you for sneak attack.
Okay, then I'll just stop then. My board did a good job.
All right. Yes, it did. All right. So that's Flynn's turn. Alezi.
Alright, so, can I get to the furthest one now?
You can. Yes, it's like 20 feet away. You can easily make that distance.
Alright. So she's just going to, take out her battle axe and run straight for it, swinging
Go for it.
down. It would be a 12.
That still hits.
Awesome.
It's a big target with no armor.
And that's 12 damage.
All right. So that ooze was almost cut in half from this axe blow. That was a grievous injury to it. Unfortunately, it was also an injury to your axe. The axe will now deal 1 less damage until it gets repaired.
Alright.
So mark down that it's been damaged -1 damage. So that ooze is not happy about being sliced in half. The half that's still moving will a big arm grows out of it and attempts to slap it. Unless that will hit.
Yes, her armor class is 17.
All right, and I didn't add then the +3 attack. All right, so bam. So it slams into Alezi straight in her gut. You take 7 bludgeoning damage.
Alright.
And 5 acid damage.
Okay.
Is your armor metal?
My armor? I don't have any armor.
All right, you're a barbarian.
Yes.
So that's all.
Okay.
So you see that part of Alezi's clothing gets corroded away, but it's not a whole lot. It won't affect how it functions. But it's still a big hit to the gut. First ooze is gone, so now it is Oona's turn.
Okay, how far is how far away from me is the second ooze?
40 feet.
40 feet? Okay. For the cantrips, I can cast however many I like. Yes?
They're
Yes.
at will.
They're at will. Okay, then I want to do Eldritch Blast again.
That seemed to work last time.
Yes, it worked quite well, so I'm going to do that one again.
All
All right. To 11?
That's a hit. So splash, sending more acid into the air. Little bit drips on Alezi, but it's not enough to actually deal damage. It just hurts a little.
Oh, so it didn't hit it, it didn't hurt Alezi, or the
It
thing
did
didn't
not
hit her?
hurt. It did not hurt Alezi. Roll your damage for the ooze.
7.
All right. So this ooze is barely still functioning. It is mostly a splattered pool on the ground at this point.
And then I have a question for you real quick. I currently only have one bardic inspiration to be able to use, right? Per day?
I thought Bard started with more than that.
I think it's only one. I was trying to read it, but I only see it doesn't say, or I keep skipping over it.
Definitely make sure that you understand how this works.
Because it's like if I can give another creature other than myself within 60 feet of me who can hear me a bardic inspiration die, which is a d6.
So what?
You can use this feature a number of times equal to your charisma modifier, a minimum of once. You regain any expended uses when you finish a long rest.
Okay, so I have 3. Okay.
So yes, if you want to, you may inspire someone.
Oh no, it's almost dead. I'll wait until later.
Might be wise. Flynn, it's you and the boar's turn.
All right. Seeing that it does damage to weapons and people if you attack it, I don't want to attack it, so I'll send my boar to attack it.
Go for it.
+5?
Yes. Hit.
21.
All right, minimum damage isn't enough to kill this thing, so don't worry about that. The boar charges through, and there's not a whole lot of this ooze left still moving, and it just tramples over what little bit is left and splashes it around. The boar does take some acid damage from that. Takes 1 acid damage from this. So yeah, that is the ooze gone. I'm trying to look up how long the bag of tricks summoning lasts.
The creature disappears at dawn or when it hits 0 hit points.
Jesus, that is really good for an uncommon unattuned item. I have no idea. Okay.
So victory.
Yes, victory theme right here. The
All
oozes
right.
are gone.
So Alezi takes a deep breath, trying to hold it in, and then slowly lets it out, groaning, "Damn, that hurt."
I'm so sorry about the splash there at the end. I know you were already covered in slime,
It's all right.
but okay.
Flynn, who is perfectly healthy, says, "Well, that was fun."
Alezi resists the urge to punch Flynn.
Roll a wisdom save. No.
Oona wants to look around and see if there's like anything else just like waiting to creep up on him. Or can I only look for one thing at a time when I'm doing a perception check?
Perception check is just a general here is what you see sort of thing.
Okay. So if I wanted to just look at the area and see if there's any more like creepy crawlies or if there's anything interesting.
Yeah. For the creepy crawlies, roll perception.
Okay. And that's just another d20, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Don't I have a modifier for No, I don't. Okay. That was a silly of me.
It's going to be +1 because of your wisdom.
Oh, okay. Then it's a 3.
Okay, cool. Yeah, seems cool. There's nothing around here. If you also want to, you can look around. Like you're in a slightly open cave that looks a whole lot more natural than the bored tunnels that you've been going through. If you want to look for other things like small details, you might try an investigation check.
Yes, I want to do that.
Go for it.
Docs, have you changed the potion of healing for your game, or is it?
It's the same as the book version.
Okay.
2d4 + 2 for the basic healing.
Okay, then Alezi's gonna chug hers.
You could also conceivably take a short rest. Don't forget.
That is true.
Do you want to take a short rest? Because we've got time.
Short rest is about 30 minutes, by the way.
All right. So
I've got a 19 for investigation.
Okay. So, are you guys taking a short rest?
I'm fine with that.
yeah, we can take a short rest.
All right. So Alezi needs a minute to recover from her injuries during the fight. So you guys settle down to take a rest while Oona looks through the cave. Oona, for the most part, there's not much to see here, but you do find towards like the back entrance of the cave a humanoid skeleton. It looks like it was either like it might have been a child, but it also might have been a halfling or a gnome. Like this is a very small skeleton that's been bleached white and completely stripped of flesh. And next to it, you see that there's a pouch that hasn't been corroded.
I pick it up.
All right, so it's a pouch. You as you hold it, it seems like there's stuff inside. Maybe coins or something, and there's also like a heavier object that that maybe sloshes a little.
I wanna open it and I wanna look inside.
All right, so good.
That'll end well.
Yeah. All right, so you open it up and you see it was a coin purse, and there's not a whole lot in there. There's 4 gold coins inside, which not a bad little like for an average person. That's actually a pretty good find. Like you can live for a couple of days off of 4 gold coins. But you also find looks like a potion that's been stoppered up. So a little glass vial about the size of your thumb with a wax seal over it that has not been broken.
Am I able to tell what it is?
Roll Arcana.
Arcana, okay. And I have proficiency in that.
Yep.
Alezi just comes up behind her while she's checking this potion out and is literally looking over her head.
Kind of want to scream in surprise.
I mean, you can do that.
Okay, so I scream while I'm trying to figure out what kind of potion this is.
Okay.
The scream echoes through the board tunnels.
Alezi just slow blinks, unfazed at the scream.
Alright, so you rolled a 20 on this potion. You are fairly confident that this is a minor healing potion.
Sweet.
Similar to the ones you guys are already carrying. Whoever this was apparently didn't have enough time to use it before they were consumed.
Yeah, right.
And I'm going to assume that skeleton was a halfling. And please don't sneak up on me like that ever again, Alezi.
I didn't know I was sneaking, but okay.
You're very quiet for such a tall person.
I didn't know I was tall, but okay.
Hey, Docs, I have a stupid question.
Oh boy.
Does the boar get any hit dice on the short rests?
I'm going to say no, because holy shit, I had no idea that Bag of Tricks could do something that much at this level.
Okay.
Yeah. Possible
I'm cool with
miscalculation
that.
there. Possible
cool with that.
miscalculations. Anyway, so about 30 minutes pass, and Alezi has a chance to catch her breath. You want to roll some hit dice?
Yeah. Okay. So she gets a D12.
Mm-hmm.
And it's plus your con modifier, right?
Yes.
14.
All right. That heals you back up to max, doesn't it?
Yes.
Cool. So, over the time, like, it hurt a lot, but there were no lasting injuries. So, you pour some water over the spot where the acid was burning, and it mostly washes away. And like all you've got left is a small hole in your shirt.
All right. So, while she's resting and letting this heal, she just kind of staring at the boar that her companion summoned and asking him questions like, "What the heck is it? Is it actually an animal? Could we eat it?"
Flynn, how do you answer?
Well, part of me just wants to say that it disappears when it hits 0 hit points, and part of me wants to let Alezi try to eat it and find out for herself. And I think that the latter is what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, yes, it's actually very tasty. Why don't you try that?
Okay. Let's see.
Can I make a deception check on that?
If you want to.
20 plus... Ooh, big number.
So if I cast Speak with Animals with my instrument, could I talk to it?
Probably.
Okay. So,
She's gonna eat it. I don't know if I want to get to know it better.
Alezi is convinced.
So, what Flynn is saying seems plausible. Like, in addition to summoning a combat partner, it could also be a way to summon food.
Alright, so, she's just going to go up to this boar with a javelin in her hand.
So terrible. What have I done?
And she just puts it to the back of its neck like one would cattle to
The boar is not restrained and seems to understand what you're trying to do.
Okay.
It's like it's backing away from you warily.
Okay. So if she looks back and she's like, "Wait, you don't control this thing?"
Stay.
It does it's not. Give me a second to think about how this would interact. So you're telling the boar to stay. So it stays still. Yeah.
All right. Can I insight on the boar?
You can. It is definitely watching you. You don't get the impression that it's actually cowed. Like, as soon as you make a threatening move to it, it's probably going to bolt again. And it might bolt toward you.
Alright. Alezi just snorts and says, maybe when I'm hungry enough. And then just goes and sits back down.
Alright. The boar seems pacified by this, but he's still watching you very warily.
Alezi does the, I'm watching you motion to the boar.
It's a boar. It doesn't understand.
Alezi doesn't care.
Okay.
Can I tell it to roll over and give it a nice belly rub?
It does so hesitantly.
It is now fearful for its life.
Alright, so you attempt to give it a belly rub. It doesn't seem pleased by this. And also, boar hairs are like almost needles. This is not a pleasant belly rub.
Okay.
Oona comes back and it's like, what?
I
don't know what. All right, are we ready to go?
Yep, we're ready.
Yeah.
So you continue forward?
Yes.
Yes.
Alright, so you continue down a couple of more of these bored tunnels, and you occasionally do see other chambers that open up. It seems like there were natural caves here before whatever construction was going on started. You get to the end of Tok Tok's instruction, and as he said what he said before was, from here, I don't know where they went. It's anyone's guess. So, good luck out there.
Did we all just flash back to him saying that?
Yes, that is exactly what just happened.
It's a group flashback.
Right. So, you are in another one of these natural chambers, and there are 3 branching paths. All of them actually are going downwards into the earth, and none of them look bored. Like, these look like natural passages. They are very rough, and the ground is actually kind of slick. So it's treacherous going down, and there are spots where you can see down. Do you guys all have dark vision? Actually, I think you do.
I do.
Alezi doesn't.
Alezi does not.
Because she's using human stats. So, Alezi would definitely have to have a torch of some kind, and the torch doesn't go far enough to see it, but the 2 with dark vision can see spots where the cave contracts so much that you'll have to crawl to get through. So these are much more treacherous passages that you have to go through. And there are 3, all of them going down, 1 to the left, 1 to the right, 1 in the center.
So do we want to rock, paper, scissors? Actually, no, Oona would like to make an investigation check, because I kind of know what to look for these fireworms, right?
Yeah, you would know the signs, although you would also note that it was in a container that it apparently could not get out of.
Apparently, but
Yeah.
That's not for sure.
That's what you've been told.
Okay? Could I
I'm not
look around to
correct.
see if there's any signs of the people who were originally smuggling this thing?
You can totally try that. Investigation, please.
Okay.
Wow.
21.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. You totally see some stuff. So there's a couple of things you see. First of all, you see a spot where a stalagmite has been broken off at the edge, and you can see the tip of it on the ground, and it looks. Somebody getting some chips?
Sorry. Yeah.
It's okay. It looks fairly recent. Like, there are spots on the stone that are still dry, and if this had been here for a long time, you get the impression that the whole thing would be would have a layer of moisture over it, and there's a spot that doesn't. So you get the impression that someone's been down the left tunnel recently, and you also see
some kind of animal droppings down the center tunnel. You can't tell what type though.
Okay. I turn to the other guys. Okay, this one over here looks like somebody's been down it, but this one has some kind of weird animal thing. So I'm assuming it wasn't weird animals that were trying to smuggle it. So we should probably go down this one over here.
But there's also a third one.
But the third one doesn't look like anybody's been down it in forever, and I am not about to go wandering where no souls have tread.
Let's just follow the obvious bandit trail.
Okay.
Well,
All right. So that's what you're doing.
you're the stealth man. Stealth.
Okay. Rolling stealth. Stealth.
All right. So he's still doing all right at being fairly quiet, like as much as one can. There's not a whole the cave is very echoey, so any sound gets amplified, and there's not really a whole lot of cover here. Like you've got your stalagmites and the like, but they're not tall enough to really hide behind. So there's only so much one can do, basically. So everybody goes forward. At one point, you guys all have to get down on your knees and crawl through because the cave gets so narrow. It's especially difficult for Alezi because she's the biggest person.
Is the boar gonna fit?
And she can't see.
Yeah, and she can't see. The boar does not fit.
Okay.
Can
Goodbye,
Oona assist? Can Oona assist Alezi, like going down where she's like, okay, and now scoop your head down because there's a thing in you.
I mean, I presume she's carrying a torch. She doesn't need that much help.
I actually gave her the light cantrip.
Okay, so she's carrying a thing that is glowing.
Yeah, she just picked up a rock.
I tell the boar to guard the tunnel as we leave it.
The boar gives a grunt of understanding.
Okay.
After we get out of this little tight squeeze, Alezi is going to immediately try to hide as much of the light as possible. So she's actually going to grab the back of Una's clothing so that she can kind of keep up with her and not lose her.
All right.
Flynn actually has a hooded lantern.
Cool. Not sure.
Well,
the
Flynn
whole
is
point
already
is
up further, so.
also the point is trying to stay stealthy. So
But a hooded lantern, it's like,
a flashlight.
yeah, and you can cover it.
Right. And once you cover it, it's not producing much light.
And isn't that what she's doing right now?
Yes. So the effect is the same.
Yeah, so you don't need to come back and give it to her. We've got it covered.
She's got a glowing rock that is covered up. That's all.
So
Okay.
if she needs to see really quickly, she can. But other than that, she's kind of just getting led by Oona.
All right. So are you guys all attempting to stay stealthy as well as Flynn?
Yes.
All right. Then I need stealth checks from everyone. Flynn has already rolled his.
And it's under dexterity?
Yes.
I got a 9.
All right. So Alezi's actually doing relatively well considering that she can't see much, but Oona stubs her toe and doesn't quite manage to keep herself from yelping on a slack. Yeah. So stealth is probably not working. But because again, it's an echoey cave, so you hear fuck.
Worth it!
Worth it.
All right. So you continue going down, and Flynn, you're relying on dark vision, correct?
Yes.
So here's the thing about dark vision. It's colorless, and it's not necessarily the highest detail. So you don't see it as you're walking in to a strand of web that gets directly on your face.
Is it just one strand, like a really thin strand, or is it like a giant spider kind of strand?
It's a single strand.
Oh, okay. So it's your Flynn's down for the count.
It's like in my mouth, and I'm trying to spit it.
Yeah, but we've all experienced this. Like you're just walking along and suddenly whip. It's exactly. So yeah, there's a web in your face, and you spat it out. Any response?
That's weird, but actually no, it's not weird because we're in a deep dark cave. This is where spiders are. I don't think it's that weird. It's just kind of gross.
Okay.
Are you saying this out loud, Flynn?
Have you
No, it's
have
kinda in
you
my
rolled
head.
a perception roll recently?
I could. Can I DM?
Sure. Like, if you want to roll things, just roll them.
Perception 2. 22. Natural 20.
All right. Look around.
So angry.
Yeah, I'm annoyed that all of the good rolls seem rather concentrated on one character.
Flynn, I'm gonna need you to pass some of that look back over this way.
Yeah. Pass some here too. So you look around, and now that you've gotten the one in your face, you know to actually like squint and look for it. There are a lot more webs, and as you continue moving down, there are a lot more webs.
Okay.
Bigger webs. Like, we're not talking about little spider webs. Like, these are webs a person could get tangled up in. Like, these are big webs.
So I stop the group and point them out so that we don't get caught up in them.
Was it a timely warning, or was it like you did the first one and then you kind of kept walking a little bit and then you went, oh, there's another one?
That's
Let's go with that one.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, there's another one. Oh, there's another one. Oh, there's a lot of them.
Yeah. Welcome to Spider Country, apparently.
Yeah.
So, do you continue forward?
Yeah, but keeping an eye out for the spider webs and leading the group through where, if I can see a way around or through.
But being cautious about the, big fuck off webs that are becoming a problem. So, continue forward, and you occasionally hear chitinous skittering. Like, these are webs that are definitely occupied. Now, looking around, you only see small spiders for now. But then you see forward, you see a cart that, not a big cart. Like, this wouldn't be a horse-drawn cart because these caves are not a friendly place for horses, as you've already seen. But it looks like something that, like, a person might drag, or maybe like a dog sled sort of thing. And you see 3 of them, actually, kind of scattered around in this this really rugged opening. Like, it's even at the best of times, without all of the webs, you would have to tread carefully to not slip on the moist ground. And then there are all these webs around. And we'll continue with your 20 perception, Flynn. You hear the chitinous clicking getting more frequent and like deeper in tone. There's something bigger in here, but there's also these carts. You also see a very subtle glow from one of a box in these carts.
Okay. Can I go up and look at it?
You can certainly try. How are you doing this? Just walking up?
Sure.
All right.
Una kind of hangs back a little bit.
Alezi is with Oona.
All right.
Yeah, I'll go up.
All right, cool. So you walk up to the glow, I guess?
Yeah, the glow.
All right, so you go up to the glow, and you're avoiding the webs as well as you can, but it's getting to a point where you can't really go further without having to go through some of these webs. If you continue forward, I'm going to need you to make a dexterity saving throw with advantage.
Okay.
Una hisses angrily at Flynn. Don't you dare!
I'm doing it.
It's like,
What's he doing?
There's spiders, and he's trying to climb into them.
What?
I don't know. He's stupid.
Ah.
If I end up with spiders in my hair, I'm gonna punch him.
Make an investigation check, Oona.
This is a very real fear for Oona.
Oh,
as
no,
spiders anywhere near her hair because she has a lot of hair. What's investigation under again? Oh, intelligence. So it's +2. Oh, a 3.
She doesn't see any spiders.
Everything's fine.
Okay, so the higher one's 12.
All right, cool. So you're going through, like, kind of trying to slice through these webs. It's getting slower and slower going as you go. Slower and slower. Oh no, you're stuck. Oh crap, you're stuck.
Nice.
Alezi hears the grunting from him trying to move, and she's, what's going on?
He's stuck. He's stuck, and we're gonna go get him.
Yeah. I'm stuck.
Something is approaching as you get stuck.
So, is that loud enough for Alezi to hear?
Yeah, like this is not. There's no need for perception checks. You can hear it.
All right.
Something is approaching.
All right. She's going to take out the rock that she cast light on immediately to try and see whatever is going on.
You immediately see reflections from hundreds of eyes and carapaces, all of them staring at you.
Oh, okay. So I did fuck up.
Now, these are normal-sized spiders.
Mm.
Mostly. Two of them, size of a big dog. Both of them approaching
What kind of dog?
around Flynn. Like, Great Dane. Like, these are big
Okay.
dogs.
All right.
And there's... Oh, I'm not done. This
Okay.
gets better, guys.
Okay.
And these spiders flank a big, round, bulbous figure with a purple carapace. It looks spider-like as well, but also humanoid. It has 2 arms, 2 legs that end, all of which end in appendages with 2 long talons. And it also has really big, exaggerated fangs and a lot of black eyes and a spider-like pattern over its face. Really bulbous, really bloated-looking creature.
Yay.
Yeah. So roll initiative.
Alezi's reaction? Well, shit.
Flynn knew it would be bad, but he didn't know it would be that bad.
Oona regrets ever picking a direction to go down. Remind me again for initiative. It's on.
It's your dexterity modifier.
Typically, that's all it's going to be.
Okay. Okay, I got 21.
All right. Give me just a second. All right. Oh, hey, the spiders are on the same initiative. That's nice. Makes things a little easier for me. All right. So the Ettercap rolled a 6, and the spiders also rolled a 6. So the enemies are all 6.
666. It's a sign,
Yes.
guys.
Yes. That is actually what has just happened.
Well,
All right.
it was good playing with you guys.
So you guys see how I labeled my rolls when I rolled my initiative? Please start doing that so I can know which ones are which. So
Okay.
Oona is at a 21.
Mhm.
Alezi is on a 7.
Mhm.
And
Flynn is 4.
with a natural 1. All right. So Flynn is there's it's a semicircle around him of 2 really big spiders and and that weird purple thing. They're about 10 feet away from him and closing fast. Flynn appears to be stuck and unable to move in the web. They are all about 30 feet away from you, and the entire chamber is covered in slippery rocks and webs, so everything is difficult terrain, which means you have to spend twice as much effort to move through it. Just walked right in. Okay.
I told you not to do that. Am I
Oona.
first?
Yeah,
Yeah.
your turn.
Okay, I'm first. Okay.
The thing about Flynn is he likes danger and he likes excitement. He doesn't always think it through though.
He is not going to last very long.
I'm looking forward to Scott's next character.
I'm not even joking. Maybe start thinking of a new character.
He's in a very bad spot right now.
Is Alezi's only source of light the rock?
Yes.
At the moment, yes.
And the rock it casts enough illumination that you can see the figures, but you can't see them very clearly. It's shadowy in that area.
Okay. Then I have a question for you, Doc, specifically. So my attuned instruments that I have, it comes with free spells basically. One of the spells is Fairy Fire, but it does say it's a concentration spell.
Yes.
It is still counting for concentration for me?
Yes. You would have to be continuously playing the instrument in order to continue the effect.
Okay. All right. And if I, for example, set a bunch of webbing on fire, would they continue to burn, or is that something I would know?
It's unclear. It is a moist room, but webs might burn very well. You are not sure.
Okay.
Try it. What's the worst that could happen?
I'm kind of thinking of aiming it right at Flynn for being an idiot.
You don't see me attempting to make an awesome face right now.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and try Firebolt. And I'm gonna actually, can I like yell at the purple dude?
You can.
Hey, purple guy. I am also purple, so we speak the same language. What's up with the spiders? Huh. Okay, so we only speak spider. I'm gonna cast Firebolt. Watch out, Flynn. And I'm gonna go ahead and attack the spider on the left, I guess.
Sure.
14.
All right, that hits.
And then it's 1d10, I believe. Yeah, 1d10 fire damage. It's a 1.
Womp, womp, womp. So you fire your bolt through, but it keeps getting caught on the webs. You can actually see the projectile slowing a bit every time it goes through them. And by the time it gets to the spider, it's mostly puttered out. But it still hits the spider, and it still seems to react to the blow and is definitely displeased. But more importantly, there's a lot of webs that are on fire now.
Yes!
Yes. Webs, the fire is slowly spreading. And like
Over in a room full of webbing. Shit.
Alezi and Oona are well out of the reach of it, but Flynn, you've got maybe 10 seconds before the fire reaches you, and you are still gupped up.
Okay.
Good luck. All right, so that was Oona's turn. Now it is time for, where did I throw that? Alezi.
Yay! So, did Oona just clear the way for Alezi, basically? With the fire?
A little bit. Like, it won't be as difficult terrain. You're probably, like, with your strength, you're probably going to be able to just barrel through and not get clogged up.
Alright, so first things first, as a bonus action, I can, use Rage.
Oh dear.
That's gonna give me advantage on strength checks and saves, +2 damage on strength-based melee attacks, and resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage.
That may be important.
Yeah.
All right, so Alezi is pissed.
So pissed. She's not here for this shit. So she comes barreling through. She's already got her axe damage. She's so angry. She just wants this to be over with. Can she reach one of the spiders?
You could probably you should be able to reach the spider that Oona just hit, in part thanks to the webs burning away a little bit.
Alright, so she's definitely gonna do that with her damaged battle axe here.
Alright, so totally pissed off, Alezi just bolts through these webs, doesn't even give a shit.
And the bonus is on damage only, so I still make an attack roll. 14.
Smash! You hit.
Alright, so roll 1d. That is a -1 for the damage, but it's a +2
for the
rage. So she still gets. That is 13 damage.
Crack! You actually sever 2 of the spider's front legs. It squeals in pain. And barely still stands.
Alright. And she already used her bonus action, so that's all she can do this round.
The big creature seems particularly incensed and angry that you struck at the spider. That it gives a weird hollow sound as it leaps forward and attempts to bite you.
Alright.
And then rakes its claws at you as well.
Okay. And, alright.
Alright, that I presume will hit.
Yes, and she's going to cast a reaction spell, just so you know.
Okay, what's that reaction?
Shield.
What does it do?
So shield, hold on. An invisible barrier of magical force appears and protects you until the start of your next turn. You have +5 bonus to AC, including against the triggering attack.
All
you
right.
take no damage from the spell magic missile, but that doesn't matter.
Probably won't matter.
Yeah.
So does the 21 still hit you?
It does not.
Alright. So, it's just at the last moment you put your hand forward and the shield pops up. And it his teeth bounce away. He still is continuing to swipe at you with his claws. And that will not hit. So, thanks to the shield, you like with this temporary barrier, you deflect away the 2 attacks.
Awesome.
But there's also a spider there. It maneuvers so that it kind of like puts you between itself and the Ettercap. And so now you are flanked, and the spider is going to get advantage on its attack as a result.
Okay. I still have 22 AC till my next turn.
That's right. Your attention is mostly taken by the Ettercap, but you're still able to sway away from the spider, in no smart part thanks to the fact that it's missing 2 legs and therefore is not acting at its most nimble. So the spider fails to make any kind of connection. The other spider is apparently going for easier prey. Flynn. It creeps forward and attempts to take a bite, and because you are currently restrained by the spider web, it has advantage on this attack.
Awesome.
I presume the 20 will hit.
Yes.
So its teeth pierces into your shoulder, dealing 9 damage.
Okay.
I like the high-pitched panic there. Okay. Flynn, it's your turn.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm trapped.
Yes, you cannot move. You can still attack, but you can't actually move away. Your attacks will be at disadvantage because you're tangled up in the web.
Okay.
And you do only have 10 seconds to get untangled.
Yeah.
A little less.
Is
2
there...
rounds. That'll be 2 rounds, by the way.
Yeah, is there, like, a check or something I can do to maybe
So
get out of it?
You can either make a dexterity saving throw to attempt to wriggle out, or a strength saving throw to break out.
Dexterity saving throw? Sounds like very good idea.
This will be your action, so you will not be able to attack if you do this.
Okay. So, 1...
Fire?
Yes, there is fire.
15.
All right, that's good enough to get out. So it takes you some struggling, but you are able to like get one arm free, and then you are able to slice away most of the webbing with the dagger.
Okay. Next question, because I still have a bonus action.
Yes.
Would looking around me, would it be safer to go back the way I came, or go forward because I'm already halfway?
There are other. So, like, what are you going forward?
To get out of here. Like, can I make it to the carts or something?
So you could make it to the carts, but you might get more tangled up in web as you go there. Like, there's more webbing that hasn't been damaged along the way.
Okay.
So if you go forward, you might get caught up.
But I can back out.
You can back out. It will be difficult terrain, so you'll move at half speed.
Okay, I will disengage from the spider and go back as far as I can.
All right, that'll only be 15 feet, I believe, but you can do that.
Yes.
All right, cool. So, you hold one of your weapons in front of you, trying to get some distance from the spider, and just quietly back away.
Uh-huh.
All right, round 2, Oona.
Am I surrounded at all by spiders?
No, okay, you're totally surrounded by spiders, but none that are big enough to be dangerous to you.
Okay, so it's just creepy crawlies?
Yes, there tons of creepy crawlies.
Everything is terrible and nothing's okay.
Right now, Alezi is surrounded. She is flanked.
Yeah, Alezi is flanked.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the spiders. How badly did it look?
It's almost dead.
And that's one of the ones attacking Alezi.
Yes, and like it is missing 2 of its front legs, and it's just pouring blood. It'll probably eventually bleed out from the wounds, but it's still fighting.
Okay, so the other spider that was on the flanked Lezzie? There's 3 spiders.
There are 2 spiders and then the humanoid thing. The other spider bit into Flynn, and it is uninjured.
Okay. I'm gonna try firebolt again on the one that is uninjured.
The uninjured one? Alright.
Yes.
Make your roll.
Okay.
Ooh, good hit.
23?
Roll your damage.
Yay.
Alright,
4.
so that's still a lot better than the one. So
Yeah.
you're more aware of how the web interacts with the firebolt at this point, and so you're able to better aim it. It still sets off a lot more fires and loses a bit of momentum as it passes through the webs. But this hit is a lot more solid, and you can see a big burn mark on the spider's thorax as you hit it.
Mm.
It definitely noticed that. The spider will remember that. Alezi, it's your turn.
All right.
Oh, wait, no, not necessarily. Oona, I will remind you that inspiration is a bonus action.
Oh, okay. Then I want to use because in the order it's Alezi after me, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it'll be Alezi's turn next.
Okay, then yes, I want to inspire. She's within 60 feet of me, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's easy in read.
Okay, yeah, then I totally want to go ahead and inspire Alezi by playing a quick "Hey, don't die."
I am
You hear-
inspired not to die.
Alezi, through your rage, you hear somebody go, "Don't die, don't die," and you are less inclined to die.
So you get a d6.
Yep,
Okay.
floating d6 that you can add to a d20 after you roll it. So if you see that you're definitely going to miss, don't worry about it. If you see it might be the difference, go for it. So, Alezi, your turn.
Okay. So the spider that is bleeding out, it's not gonna die anytime soon, right?
Yeah, it's gonna need a couple of minutes to finish bleeding.
Yeah.
So, if you want it to die before it bites you again, maybe help it along.
Yeah. She's gonna try to take care of that before she goes after the big guy.
That seems tactically sound.
Ooh, a 9.
Remember, you have inspiration.
Yeah, I'm gonna. And that is a d6.
That inspiration is exactly enough to make that hit.
Awesome.
Yay.
Yay.
You remember, don't die. And it helps you swing a little bit harder.
Nice.
Not gonna even ask you to roll damage. Minimum is enough to kill it. You crush the spider's face in.
Alright.
And-
And I can't do anything with my bonus because True Strike takes a whole action.
Yep. True Strike is a very limited spell.
Yeah.
But when you need it, it could be a big deal.
Yep.
Anyway, so the big bulbous creature, is very, very angry that you just killed that spider. Like, incredibly angry. And it, lashes out, in a rage. Once again, it's attempting to bite and claw at you. That's a 15 to hit.
That does not hit.
That shield is hard to get around. Now comes a claw.
That one hits.
Alright, so you have to occupy your shield by blocking that bite, which looks like it would be significantly more dangerous than the claws. So, even in your rage, you're able to make that calculation. Better to take the claw than to take the bite. So your shield is locked down as you attempt to hold back its fangs, and then while it's still got your shield in its mouth, it swipes at your chest.
Alright, and I do get resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing.
This is slashing damage, so you will take 3 slashing damage.
Okay.
Alright. First blood. The other spider is still angry at Flynn, and it can walk across webs just fine, unlike you guys, so it easily closes the distance and takes another bite at him.
Naturally.
That's +5. I presume that hits.
Yes, that will hit.
Alright, so bite at Flynn. He takes 5 piercing damage.
I'm okay.
Are you okay?
Yep.
How much do you have?
Well, that depends on the answer to this question. Was the 5 pun damage a joke?
Yes.
Then I'm fine.
How fine are you? Do I need to come over there?
Flynn is bleeding badly.
I may need a little help, but it's my turn in a minute.
Yeah.
So
Flynn's turn.
All right.
You're about 20 feet from the Eder Cap and Alezi, and you have a spider that is all up in your shit.
all right. It's a bonus action to take a healing potion, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna do that.
Huh. I wonder why. By the way,
2d4 plus 2.
that's right. Oona, did you add the potion that you found to your inventory?
Yeah, I've got 2 healing potions now.
All right, cool. Please keep the one that you identified in this cave separate from the others. Like, mark it down as cave potion. Not foreshadowing anything at all.
Okay, so
7 HP healing. Flynn's still bleeding, I think, but he's a little better.
So, I'm within 20 feet of the big guy, right?
Yes.
And from my limited looking at him, I gathered that he's the boss, and he's vaguely humanoid and just a little smarter than.
Yeah, he seems to. I'm saying it seems to have kind of a. It's definitely close to these spiders. It might be taking care of them. It seems incredibly angry that the other one has died.
Okay, so I'm gonna try something.
Okay.
I am going to use my special spell, Tasha's Hideous Laughter.
Oh boy.
And if it has an intelligence of 4 or less, it's not affected. But if it does, it has to make a wisdom saving throw.
All right.
And the DC is 12.
It does not make the save.
It falls prone and it starts laughing.
So, the laughing, it falls over and it's like rolling around on the ground. The laughing, I wouldn't really call it laughing. It's like, what is the sound that's being made.
And that's concentration, and the target can make another saving throw at the end of each of its turns or whenever it takes damage.
Gotcha. So, yeah. So, that's a thing that has apparently been disabled for now.
So maybe you guys can focus on this spider next to me that's more immediate?
Yeah, good luck with
Oona.
that. Alezi's not.
Alezi is raging, so good luck. Oona, it's your turn.
Okay. So I see Bulba's face is down. We're down one spider. Well, he's prone. The other one's dead. And then Flynn has a menacing spider coming ever closer. Is
That's
that correct?
Right. It's on him. Like, he's fighting it off with his blade as he casts the spell.
Okay. And I failed at multiple times at this point. Oona is going to try and use Eldritch Blast instead.
Okay.
Sorry, I have like multiple PDFs open, so I keep having to click away from them.
I totally understand, but I'm the DM. You want to talk about a lot of things? I have like 6 different monster pages open, all of your character sheets, the DMG, the monster manual, and the player's handbook. So don't even talk to me about that shit.
Okay, well I got a natural 20, so it came out to 25.
Alright, well, so on a natural 20 on an attack, you roll the damage dice twice. So like, if you roll a d10, you'd roll 2d10 instead.
Okay.
'Cause that is a critical hit.
Sweet!
You only add your modifier once. So don't do the plus whatever.
0. It's a plus 0 for her cantrips.
Oh, okay.
What do I have to actually type in that I'm typing to, or is it like how you did it before, where you did the roll, 2 # sign?
You'll do roll 2d10.
Okay. 11?
Alright. Oh shit. That actually takes it out. So, yeah, Bard scored a kill. So, you're
my hero.
You're getting better and better at shooting your projectiles through these webs. And you aim real carefully, and bam, directly headshot. And that head is not there anymore. The spider falls over dead.
Oona like mentally high fives herself and just goes, "I am so fucking badass."
You feel something touch down, and you feel something moving in your hair.
Oh, screaming! They're
Alezi,
screaming.
it's your turn.
Alright, so laughter is contagious. Alezi is still raging, but she's kind of chuckling at the spider things chuckling. But she's still going to try to attack it, and it's prone, so she gets advantage, right?
That's correct.
Alright, good thing!
Yeah?
For the listeners, that first one was a 1.
That was bad.
She was laughing too much. Alright,
That's not a 1, though. Let
15.
me see. That will hit. So
Okay.
it's a hollow crack as your axe digs into it.
That's 9.
Alright, 9 damage to the Ettercat. Let's see if it still finds this shit so funny. Yep! Oh, it is
It's
so
hilarious.
funny. They can't do anything but roll around laughing
Is it crying a little bit too? 'Cause
Yes,
it's, like,
definitely.
horrified by its
Okay.
laughter.
I mean, maybe it can't cry. It's hard to tell. Like, this is a spider. But it's not laughing anymore. The spell ends at the end of its turn as it makes its save. But it's still prone on the ground because that's at the end of its turn. Flynn, go for it.
Okay. How far away is it?
It's like 20 feet, but also note that the fires have still been burning, so the webs are mostly cleared away. It's no longer difficult terrain.
Okay. And how close is Alezi to it?
She's in melee with it.
Okay.
And
I'll
it's also prone, so a melee attack would get advantage on it anyway. You have a lot of ways to get your sneak attack.
Yeah, I'll join her right up there.
All right.
And 2 attacks.
Go for
Action, bonus action.
Remember, you have advantage because it is prone.
Okay. Plus 5. 21.
All right, that hits. Roll your damage, add sneak attack.
Alright, so that's 1d6 plus 3, plus sneak attack is another d6, so 2d6 plus 3.
That's right.
15.
All right, so you stab it in one of its 8 eyes.
Okay. And
Your blade is covered in ichor.
I'll do the offhand attack.
All right.
Is it still advantage?
Yes. That's a natural
20. Alright.
All right. 2d6 damage.
9.
You jab the blade into a crack in its chitin right at its neck, and like green blood splurts everywhere. But it's not dead. Oona, your turn. Note that prone targets you have disadvantage to hit it with a ranged attack.
Okay. So... Well, man, all I got are range attacks.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, okay, if you're ever using a melee attack, something's gone wrong.
Yeah.
Do you have any? Did you take any buffs you can put on either of us?
All I have is Bardic Inspiration.
Yeah, we're still low level, and since we don't have a dedicated healer, one of her spells has to be Cure Wounds.
Yeah. Well, how bad is Flynn still?
Flynn is in the double digits.
Ooh.
I will note that with Magic Missile, I don't believe you have to make an attack roll. I think that just hits.
Wait, really? Let me check.
Yeah, that is true.
Like,
okay.
It does not do much damage, but it is super reliable.
And I do it at advantage. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I'll burn a spell slot on that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's not a spell slot. That's your Magic Initiate bonus spell.
So it doesn't count for a spell slot?
No. It's an extra. It's like you have an extra spell slot that is just Magic Missile because you took Magic Initiate.
Oh, okay. I didn't remember that. Cool. So I just roll an attack for it?
Yeah, it's just no attack. It's just you deal 1d4 plus 1 force damage. The listener might note that our bard is not using a lot of bard spells, but that's because her spell list is a lot more utilitarian. 4 damage. Alright, so...
Wait, I have a question, because it says it's 3 bolts.
Wait,
so is it each one cause 4?
I do.
No, it's you roll it separately for each one. I thought it was just 1 bolt. It's like, yeah, that's not much damage, but actually that's pretty good.
Okay, so I have to roll it 2 more times? Can I just do it as 1, or... No, I don't.
You could do it as... You could roll 2d4 plus 2, or you could just press up, and that'll refill what you last typed into chat.
Oh, cool.
Alright, so a total of 8 damage. Mm-hmm. Alright, this thing is... So, like, part of the spell is a lot more mentally aimed rather than physically aimed like your cantrips. So the 3 bolts all streak out from your hand in different directions and all come together as one on the prone figure and just burn it from the inside. There's not much left. Oona, your turn.
You mean Alezi?
Yes, that's totally what
I was like, sweet, I get to go again. Magic Missile.
Alright.
No, you're out of Magic Missiles. You cannot use your regular spell slots to use Magic Missile.
Curses. That's okay. I did remember that after I said it.
Alright, Alezi has nothing on her mind except killing this thing. So she's gonna swing her battle axe down again. 17. I'm gonna roll my advantage just in case. Okay, 17.
That hits.
Alrighty. With 8 damage.
Describe to me the way in which you wish to dispatch this thing.
Okay, so, after swinging her axe so so much trying to kill this thing. She just gets angrier and angrier, her face grimacing with this foul glare down at this creature. And finally, just that one final swing catches it right into the neck, and the head just kind of rolls off.
Pop! Splat! And it rolls away. It's still chittering a little, and then it stops.
In stark contrast to the end of the previous battle, Flynn is bleeding and holding his side, and he says very weakly, "Well, that was fun, right?"
Alezi, still coming down from her rage, slowly her breathing is calming down, but she still has that menacing glare, and she looks right at Flynn, drops her battle axe, reaches out, grabs him by the collar, pulls him close, right face to face, and says, "Never do that again."
Yes, ma'am.
She lets him go.
Are the webs pretty much gone at this point?
Most of the webs are gone. The spiders are retreating, except for the one that's in your hair.
Oona suddenly remembers there's a spider in her hair and is frantically trying to get it out.
You eventually slap it so hard that you can hear it impact against the cave wall.
I hit that really hard.
But it's not.
Hair.
It's not dead though. It gets up and crawls away.
At this point, Flynn would like to use his cantrip Minor Illusion to make another spider right in front of her face.
There's a vaguely realistic-looking spider that suddenly appears right in front of your face, Oona.
Luckily, I know what cantrip this is, so I'm like, no. And I walk around the spider towards the carts, and just to see what kind of condition they're in.
All right. So, like I was saying, the cart might be too generous a term for this. These are more like sleds. And they've been bashed up real good. So, yeah, give me an investigation check to see what all you find out.
That's still just a d20, right?
Yeah. Everything except for damage is a d20,
Okay.
plus your investigation modifier.
Which is under intelligence, so just 2.
Yep.
Alright, so 8.
Okay. So, you look over these, and you're mostly interested in the cargo, naturally. So, a lot of the cargo has been ruined. Just like, whatever happened to these, it looks like a lot of the cargo got taken out of the boxes. First of all, you see one really big cage where it would be about the right size to fit the Ettercap, actually. It was slightly bigger than a humanoid, the Ettercap. So, and you still don't know that was an Ettercap, by the way. It was the big purple thing. I'm just calling it an Ettercap because that's easier. It's about human-sized, and the cage has been bent open. Some kind of big impact actually ruined this cage. Then you see a smaller box, almost like a kind of a oversized lunch pail even, that's glowing gently. You see like a stereotypical treasure chest that is kind of knocked over but still closed. It doesn't appear to be locked. It's just closed. And then a whole bunch of other small containers of like wooden and boxes, a few burlap bags that have been broken into and are empty. Anybody else want to investigate these carts?
Yes, I will.
Flynn asks Alezi if he can, because he's afraid of her now.
Oh, okay. So, when he asks, she just kind of snorts at him and then motions him forward towards the carts.
Okay, I join now.
Can I pick up the little stereotypical treasure chest and
Certainly.
see if it pops open at all? Do I need to do another investigation check, or am I still going with my previous one?
Give me just a second.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll your investigation checks, guys.
Alezi, rolled poorly.
You did.
I think she's still angry.
Probably.
She's still coming down from that high.
Womp, womp, womp. Flynn is too scared.
Flynn is too scared.
And also, you're possibly distracted by a distressed cry from Oona, who you can't. You touch you try to lift the lid, and The lid's not budging, and neither are your hands.
Son of a bitch.
You're that you can't. It's like the whole thing is coated in glue, even, and then the chest grows teeth and lashes out.
Oh no.
All right.
Mimic!
It has advantage because you are grappled. That's a natural 20.
Oh.
Oh no.
Oona, you take 14 piercing damage. And I'm not going to double the acid damage just because that seems cruel.
Okay, because that would kill me.
And 2 acid damage.
Fuck.
So suddenly the chest grows teeth and just it gets you like halfway into it. Like Oona is now a pair of legs struggling in between this chest with teeth.
All right.
Roll for initiative again.
You said it was 14 plus 2?
Yes, 16 hit points.
I'm at 1?
You might want to get away. Welcome to Dungeons and Dragons, where even the treasure chests try to kill you.
Should have just taped up the stupid worm.
All right.
Oh, I forgot to.
It's
Sorry.
Cool. It's cool.
Oh. Sorry, I was still sitting there going, I'm at 1 over and over again in my head, so I didn't roll.
Just remember, hitting 0 doesn't mean that you're dead.
Okay, I've got a 7.
All right. So Flynn has the higher dexterity, so he will go first between you and between Oona and Flynn.
Okay. And she is technically within 5 feet of it.
Yes, she is.
Okay.
Alezi, it's your turn. You have not had a short rest since you last raged.
I have not.
Let me make sure that that's how it works before I say that.
Yeah.
Like,
I was looking at that too.
you get 2 rages a day, so you can rage again if you want to.
Okay, so, she was already, like, having trouble, trying to cool down from her last rage, so this immediately just spikes up her temper.
Understandably.
Can she hit this thing without damaging Oona, though?
Yeah, you'd like go behind it, sort of. Like, Oona's out of the front end. Like I said, just waist down, kicking, bleeding badly. But there's a lot more creature that you can hit.
Alright. Well, she's gonna try it. A 10?
Nope. The axe kind of bounces off the chest's wooden exterior. It seems like it is actually mimicking the material fairly well.
Alright.
Unfortunate. Flynn, your turn.
Okay, I'll give it a shot too with my short sword.
And you guys were all investigating the chest, so you're the cart, so you're close enough that you can just get to it.
Oh no, wait, that's a 5. I think. 21.
That hits. Add your sneak attack.
7.
Alright, 7 damage to the mimic. So, you stab it, and you're not really sure that did a whole lot.
Okay.
Gonna attack again, or cast a spell with your bonus action?
All my spells are actions, so I'll attack again.
Okay.
Flynn, it'd be super awesome if you saved me after I saved you.
I'm
Just saying.
trying. 20.
That hits.
And no sneak attack on this one, because I already
Correct.
did it.
1 per turn.
5.
Still get a good little hit in.
Okay, that'll be my turn.
Alright, the mimic chows down on Oona.
What? Don't I go before the mimic?
You're correct. That's still technically true, but it's Una's turn.
Okay, because Oona just wants to strangle this thing. She's so mad.
It doesn't have a neck, so good luck.
It's got a tongue, doesn't it?
Yes, a big purple tongue.
Oh.
Make out with
Everything's
it.
purple. No.
I mean, it's already kind like you're getting to know this tongue very well right now.
Okay, so just because I'm not sure how this works. If I struggle to try and like get out of it, am I also going to be injured, or is that going to be considered my action? That
will be your action. You can make a strength saving throw or a dexterity saving throw to try to get out. You have disadvantage on this throw.
Okay. Would I still be able to do a bonus action if I don't get out?
You can take a bonus action, but your head is inside the thing's mouth, so good luck making any noise that your friends will find that inspiring.
Well, taking a healing potion is also a bonus action, but with
You could do that. Like it's awkward, but you could make that happen.
Yeah. What's the stats for a healing potion? Like
You
the what?
heal 2d4 plus 2 damage.
2d4 plus 2 damage. I can use cure wounds on myself, right?
Yes.
Okay, since I am so injured
However,
and yes.
Note that you will have to make a concentration check because this situation is rather distracting.
Oh, damn it. Okay.
That will be a Constitution saving throw.
Would that be a Constitution saving throw? Why would that be a Constitution saving throw?
Because that's what concentration checks are.
Okay. Well, shit. Okay, well, then I will attempt to get free.
Okay.
And it's just 1d8 plus my, dexterity? 1d, I'm sorry, yes, you're right.
Yes. And you roll it twice and take the lower result because you have disadvantage.
Advantage. Okay. 9.
That is not enough. You struggle to get out, but you can't.
Okay. Then can I go ahead and knock back that healing potion?
Yes, you can. Are you using your potion or the one you found in the cave?
Well, now you made it ominous. I'm not sure I
I
want to
know.
get the thumbnail one. I'm gonna try my potion just because I know what that one is.
You are obliterated.
Why is my life like this?
No, you heal normally.
Okay, remind me. I know I just asked, but I forgot.
2d4 plus 2 healing.
2d4 plus my healing. What's healing under?
It's you roll 2d4 plus 2. That's all you roll.
Okay.
There you go. You
8.
heal 8 HP. That's pretty good on a 2d4.
So now I'm at a 9.
Yes. Maybe you'll survive this bite that it's taking out of you now. And it has advantage because you are grappled. That's a 22, which I presume hits. So
Oh, yeah. 2 damage. 2 damage.
that's an 8.
Oh! Wow.
Plus 4 acid damage.
Oh.
I am at minimum unconscious? Question mark?
What is your HP?
I was only at a 9, and then you had me at 8, and then you took me to 4, and that took me out everything because I was only 1.
So you're at 0 HP. So the mimic actually slurps in those legs and swallows her whole. But there is no sign of Oona outside the mimic. You are inside, being digested. You'll take. So normally you would roll a d20. If you roll 10 or above, you succeed on your death saving throw. Below, you fail. And if you succeed on 3, you stabilize. If you fail on 3, you die. However, you're being digested, so you just automatically fail. That will happen during your turn. Alezi.
I'll fail each time?
Yes, you automatically fail your death saving throw because you are being digested.
Okay.
Alezi, it's your turn.
Okay, Alezi's actually gonna move to the front because she's gonna try to knock this thing's teeth out.
Okay.
Trying her.
You and Flynn can move to flank this thing, and that will give you advantage on your attack roll.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, so you're on either side of it. It can either concentrate on one of you or the other, and it can't properly defend itself. So you have advantage on your attacks.
18.
All right.
Advantage just in case. Okay.
18 hits.
That's 11 damage.
All right. You get a big chunk of wood out of it. Several teeth fly off. That hurt.
Awesome.
Yeah, big hits. All right, Flynn, it's your turn.
Okay. And just attacking it is all that we have right now, because I don't see any way I can get it to throw her up with anything I have, so I'm attacking it, and hoping that it doesn't go through the mimic into her.
That would be unfortunate.
Yes. So, here I am attacking. And I get advantage too, right?
Yes.
12.
That just hits.
Nice. Okay, so 2d6 plus
Someone outside is lighting up. Welcome to San Francisco.
3. 2d6 plus 3.
All
6.
right. 6 damage. So this thing is having a hard time keeping its shape. It's starting to kind of melt a little bit. Still going, still doing whatever it's doing with Oona, but it looks rough. You have a bonus action to take another attack.
Okay, here I go. hopefully I save her after she saved me, like she said. Nope.
Nope. The second blade kind of skitters off the wood. You're not making any headway. All right, Oona, it's your turn. Normally you would roll a death save here, but you're being digested. So on your sheet, under death saves, click the first box on failures.
Okay.
And that is the end of your turn. Now it's the mimic's turn. So it seems satisfied with having swallowed Oona whole. So it's not going to continue attacking Oona, but that tongue I was talking about, it opens up its mouth. And you could, unless you can see Oona, like, kind of shoved to the side of its chest. Like, she's crammed into a corner as this bluish purple tongue comes out of it and slaps into you.
Alright.
Does a 20 hit?
That hits.
Alright.
I can only use my shield once per day, so...
You are raging, so this is bludgeoning damage. That will be reduced to 4 bludgeoning damage. However, you are now adhered to it. The tongue actually sticks to you. You can't get away from it.
Alright.
It's more dramatic, guys.
Alezi, your turn.
Alright.
You can either attempt to get out of it, or you can just hack into it.
Actually, okay, so is it still open-mouthed?
It's closed its mouth around its tongue. You can't really get to Oona from here.
How wide is the gap that I made in its teeth?
Wide enough that you could safely grab onto the lid if you're thinking what I think you're thinking.
I was actually thinking I was gonna take my javelin and shove it up in there and try to, give enough force to where it goes up into the chest, top, and to pry it open.
Okay. Make an attack with your javelin at disadvantage.
Okay.
This is a melee attack, so you still get your barbarian stuff. 18 still hits.
Okay.
Alright, roll for damage normally.
That's 10.
Alright, 10. So, cool. Like, this thing is practically goo at this point. It's still, like, it's no longer really shaped like a chest, but it's still alive, apparently. Make a strength check.
My best thing. Okay.
Indeed.
Let's see.
And you're raging, so I believe you have advantage on this.
I do. And, that is a plus. What?!
What?
What?!
Oh, that was a pair of natural ones on advantage.
I'm so mad! I'm raging now!
Alright, so unfortunately, this was that javelin that was already damaged from having hit the gray ooze. So the tip snaps off.
Alright.
And you don't pry it open. But
that's
you did
fair.
But you did still do damage. That javelin is no longer useful.
Okay.
It is ruined.
So I'm down to 3.
Alright. Flynn, it's your turn.
Okay, this, I might be able to get it as long as I don't fuck this up, so
You
here we
have
go.
advantage because you're still flanking it. The only reason Alezi had disadvantage is because she was attempting a special maneuver.
Alright, so, let's hope I don't F this up. 10.
You effed it up. That misses.
Okay, but I still have my offhand attack.
You do. This is why rogues dual wield.
Oh.
Forgot the roll.
Yeah.
Just press up.
15.
Alright. That time you hit. Roll for damage.
Alright.
Come on, do it!
And it's with sneak attack, but without the +3.
That's right.
Okay. 4.
That's enough. Describe to me the manner in which you wish to dispatch this creature.
Okay, so you've said it's been melting.
Yeah,
so...
it's turning gooey.
So basically, as the blade goes in and it's melting, I reach my other hand in and pull, try to see if I can reach onto Oona and maybe pull her if I can,
Alright.
push Alezi away at least. One of the two.
Why are you pushing Alezi away?
Because isn't she stuck in it?
No.
Too?
She's stuck.
Okay.
She's stuck to it, but she's not in it.
Okay, so I'm just trying to pull her out.
Okay, so your blade does enough damage that you can actually see just the hint of Una's horn through the wound you make. Reach down, grab to it, and actually can't quite get her all the way out, but you get her head and part of her upper body out so she can breathe again. And like you're just doing tremendous damage to this mimic as you pull her out. And at this point, the mimic is no longer a mimic. It is a pile of goo, of wood patterned goo. Oona, it's your turn. Roll a d20. That is a failed death saving throw. So you have 2 failures. All right. The mimic is dead. So that leaves us with Alezi.
Okay, so Alezi is immediately going to well, I'm assuming that she's no longer stuck.
Yeah, Alezi is like the tongue is stuck to her, but it's a piece of goo at this point. It's not really restricting her movement.
All right, she's immediately going to move to Oona and try to stabilize her. So I should roll a medicine check.
That's right.
18.
All right, let me look up medicine because I have actually never seen anyone use medicine like this. Where did it go? What the hell? There it is. All right. Give me just a moment. Does not list a DC. Thank you so fucking much. All right. Well, 18 is still good enough, easily. I was wanting to see if it was like maybe that counts as a successful throw or removes a failure, but no, you're stabilized. So, okay, Oona is in a state. She is covered in goo. She has huge bite marks around her torso where that first bite got her. Her clothes have been partially dissolved by the acid. She is bad. But you're able to use scraps of cloth from her clothing or yours or bandages you might have packed, however you want to do it, to stop the bleeding around the bite marks. And that seems to be enough to keep her from getting any worse. She's still unconscious. And at this point, we can drop out of initiative.
Okay.
Yay.
In that case, I will give her my other potion.
All right.
Pour it down her throat.
All right, so you give her the potion, kind of work her head around so that she swallows it, and then Oona comes to. Oona, first off, roll healing, the HP healing. Oona, as you come through, everything hurts. Just all of it. You are covered in sticky goo. This is going to take weeks to wash out of your hair. Your clothes are ruined because, again, acid burns everywhere. Welcome back to the world of the living.
Fucking hate everything.
Hey, I saved you after you saved me. Thumbs up.
I offer Flynn a very, very lame ass high five. It's really pathetic because everything hurts. 6.
You healed
okay.
6 points.
I am at a 6. Excellent.
Alezi is grumbling, that fucker's gonna give us more money.
Hey guys, maybe we should take a short rest before we mess with anything else over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me just check on the glowy box.
No, wait. Let me do it once we've had a short rest. I'm fireproof.
I'm not gonna touch it, I just want to see if there's any holes.
Okay.
Another thing that might be useful, Oona, you have detect magic among your spells.
Motherfucker, I forgot about that.
Yes, you did.
But I also remembered that I also have the Song of Rest feat.
You do.
So if we do take a rest, I can add extra healing to all of us.
You might have wanted to remember that when Alezi was resting earlier.
If I honestly didn't think about it until I was like, I know one fucking point. Let me read about my entire section again, because I'm not going to die today.
Yes, that's fine. All right, so you guys settle around for to take a breather before poking at more things.
Yeah,
Yes.
Alezi just made sure that there were no holes in the metal glowy box, and then sat down to rest.
Okay. The metal glowy box actually does have a hole at the bottom right of it. A fairly large hole.
Okay, guys, we gotta patch this up somehow before we sit down, or it's gonna get out.
Is it even in there? 'Cause it says there's a hole, but just because it's glowing doesn't mean it's there.
Right. Okay. Does it leave glowy residue?
Do I know that, Docs?
You and Flynn both would know that it does passively glow. Yes.
Okay.
But does it leave a glowy residue? Oona, you're not sure. Flynn, you are certain it does not.
Okay. So, it's in there. Why don't we just sit down, but keep an eye on it, and we'll catch our breath, And if it gets out, we can pick it up. But let's just sit down for a minute before we mess with it. If it hasn't gotten out yet, it won't get out in the next 30 minutes.
Yeah, sure.
And if it does, Oona's fireproof. Like she said, she can pick it up. Let's just keep an eye on it while we sit down.
Fine.
Alright, so you're taking a long rest?
Short rest.
Yeah.
Yeah, short
Short.
Short
That's
rest.
what I meant. Shut up. So, about 2 minutes in, you notice a little thing like poke its head out of that hole and look around. And as soon as it spots you, the group, it darts back into the box. And the box kind of shudders a little.
Yeah, that's right. You stay in there.
Is Alezi just glaring at the box the whole time?
Yes.
Okay,
She's
because
so
Una's
mad,
just like
guys.
Una's just still laid out on the ground doing fucking everything. And in fact, that's what her poem is about. Is like, I fucking hate spiders. Because that's why your song of rest is coming from, guys. It's a poem about I fucking hate spiders. Why is everything a lie? They didn't say this was in the books. I should have seen that foreshadowing coming.
No one told you life was going to be this way.
Pretty
God.
much.
Okay, we're done. Enough is that. So, everybody rests. Oona lays on the cave floor, and a small puddle of mimic spit forms around her as it oozes away.
Alright, shall we roll our hit die, guys?
Yeah, and
Yes.
for the Song of Rest, you get an additional 1d6 hit points.
Okay.
What is the regular short rest, though? Because I haven't had to do that yet.
So how you roll? Let me make sure it's right before I say something stupid. For a bard, it's going to be 1d8 plus your Constitution modifier, and you may roll up to 2. So for the way hit dice work, you have a number of hit dice maximum equal to your character. Every time you take a long rest, which is an 8-hour rest, you regain as many as half of your character level in hit dice.
Mm.
So you have 2 hit dice. You may use one or both right now, and you can figure that out after you roll first.
Okay, and can I and after I've done the Song of Rest too?
Yes.
Okay, so you said I only have 2 hit dice.
Yes.
So
1d8
right now,
plus the Constitution modifier.
okay, and then that would be if I wanted to roll the other one, it would be the same thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Alezi's back up to full.
Cool.
So is Flynn.
Cool.
8.
How's Oona doing?
Mathing. Hold on, because I'm at 6 plus 8.
Don't forget your Song of Rest too.
Yeah. So that's 14. And then... Are you guys having a problem with the Ryzen delaying at all?
A little bit.
Okay, because Can you?
I heard you hit enter and then a half second passed before it came up.
Okay, can you tell me what I rolled? Because I can't see it still.
Oh, it's a 4.
It's a 4? Okay. Then I'm maxed out. I'm back at full health.
Okay, cool. So, everything still sucks, Oona, but your injuries have mostly healed up. But you're still going to need a few days straight of showering to get this ooze out, and your clothes are still ruined. But your injuries have they're still there, but you can deal with them.
Okay, and I have a question about the death saves. If I die again, am I automatically going to die for having failed twice?
So by the rules as written, no. Your death saves are completely reset after you get healed. I'm kind of tempted to change that a little bit, but for now we'll go with that. Another thing I'm going to say, getting down to 0 HP, remind me, I will roll later, that has a potential to leave a permanent scar.
Okay, so I get sexy belly scars already?
Yeah, possibly. Let me just go ahead and roll that. So, you failed 2 saves.
Yep.
So, yes, you will have permanent scars on the bite marks, like across your belly.
Okay.
There are probably spells. There are probably spells that you could go to get that treated. Like there's a lot of cosmetic spell casting that can be done. So if you don't like those, you can spend some money to get rid of them.
But they make a glorious story.
Yes,
Yeah.
about how one time I picked up a chest and I just thought it was a chest, but then it wasn't a chest.
I
You know
thought
the real fun part? for story reasons, I didn't go over there because I was afraid and wanted to ask Alezi's permission and all that. But right before you picked up that chest, I was thinking, I'm the rogue. I should probably check that for traps.
You should have.
But I didn't because story.
Yeah, no, my whole intent was to just tip it up and see if anything happened when I tipped it up, and then I died.
Yeah.
Pretty much is basically how it went. I was just trying to tip it upwards, and then it ate me.
All right. So
okay,
the
we're done.
so you see the snake poke its head out once in a while, and it very much looks like just a snake that is made out of fire and rock. But it pokes out and pokes its head back in, clearly terrified of it.
Poor
Okay.
baby.
It told you it was a baby.
Can we just get the thing and get out of here now? This place sucks.
Go check it for traps, Flynn.
I go check it for traps.
All right, roll an investigation check.
Investigation 2. 20.
You don't think it's trapped, but most of the box is too hot to touch. You would need to touch the handle at the top to be able to properly handle it, and it is locked. Not that it matters, because there's a big fuck-off hole in it.
Yeah. Oona, you want to carry it?
Oh, hold on. Also, right, you rolled well. So you also look at the back of it, and you see that there is actually a delivery address listed. And it is listed to the attention of one Murdoch Metal Mender. The address is a street that you know is in the Sunrise District, which is a suburb of Leyline on the southeastern side.
And that's not our little friend.
Doesn't seem like it.
Interesting.
I have a question. In this particular world, can you tell kind of where somebody comes from their last name?
It depends. So with the last name Metal Mender, make a history check. Oona, you have advantage on this because you are a bard.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and try.
And then I just roll again?
Yes. Take the higher of the two
Oh.
rolls.
If you can tell me which one that is, because it froze again on me.
Okay, so you're the -1?
No.
I'm the -1.
Okay.
She got a
Alezi's
13.
doing it as well.
Alright, 13.
Thank
and
you.
Then, please start labeling your rolls because I can't tell which ones are which.
Oh, okay.
So Oona has a 13. Flynn has a 20?
I didn't.
You
I
didn't
didn't
roll?
roll.
Okay, so that's a previous roll, and that is why I can't tell what's what. Alezi, you have a 10. Okay, so, Alezi, it's not a common name, but that kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? The syntax of, like, a descriptive name is fairly common in most of the world, so you don't really have an idea. However, Oona, you've never heard the name Murdoch before, and you get the impression that it sounds like other names that you've heard that sound Eldar in origin. So this guy might be a local.
Hey, I speak Eldar.
It's common. Everyone
Yep.
speaks Eldar.
Hey. I'm going to put a note on that so I remember that for the future, because I'm not going to.
Yeah. You could also Eldar is also called common.
Yeah, I just put a hyphen. 'Cause
Yeah, that's-
I'm not going to remember.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a setting thing that you wouldn't know, so that's fine. Alright, so yeah, you've got an address, and it is not Tactax.
Interesting.
Flynn, are there traps?
Huh?
What?
Were there traps, Flynn? You never actually
Oh.
said.
There were no traps.
Okay.
It's locked though, but there's a hole in the side, so that doesn't matter.
Does anybody have anything we could put over the hole?
Let me look through your sheets to make sure that there's not a very obvious answer to this that I think might happen. Nope. Never mind. You'll have to improvise something.
I'm
There
still
are there are a ton of scrap boxes and the like around, so you could potentially rig something.
Can I roll another investigation to look for something that would be heat worthy?
Yeah, sure.
11.
Okay, so you don't really see a whole lot of stuff that would be heat proof. You do see a couple of, but there's a box of tools of some sort. And the tools have mostly been scattered, but you do find a hammer that you could possibly use to beat this closed. You also think to look on the underside of one of the less loaded carts, and you see now what was going on here. There are a couple of stones on the underside of this that are clearly magical in origin. You would need an Arcana check to determine what these are, but these are some kind of magical cards.
Okay, I will go ahead and roll that Arcana, and I will also point this out to Oona, and
I'll join her in Arcana then.
Yeah, so will Oona.
18.
All right, 18.
10. Oh, I keep forgetting
12.
to label it. I apologize.
It's cool. All right, so Flynn and Oona, you're not sure, but Alezi, you've actually used these before in a past life, if you understand what I mean. These carts, you can cast a spell into those stones, and if you cast the spell into both of them, it doesn't like just a first tier spell. It really doesn't matter what. You're just transferring mana to it, and the stones will actually float, so you can pull the cart without having any resistance. It's a variation on the Tensor's floating disc spell.
Okay, so
you could use the carts to carry this pretty easily.
Yeah, Alezi is just going to relay all that information to her companion.
So you guys have all used your magic initiate spell, but Oona, you are a song mage, so you have more spell slots you can use.
To make it float?
Yes.
Okay, before we do that, did we finish actually looting this area before I got eaten?
Yeah, there's not much of use, honestly. Like, it looks like, whatever was in here has mostly escaped. Because you do see, tracks and the like leading away from the carts other than the Eder caps. So, there was other live cargo that has escaped, and everything else has been ruined. Like, whatever led to this situation was very violent, and not a lot survived. Noteworthy, you do not see any bodies of humanoids.
Okay. Then I would like to approach the flame worm. So what I wrote down. Yeah, flame worm.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of want to like check on it and see what kind of condition it's in.
All right, so you look into the box through the hole, I guess?
Yes.
All right, cool. Make an insight check.
Okay. I forgot what an insight center is.
Wisdom.
Wisdom.
And you're proficient in it. Oh, no, that's Alezi. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong sheet.
Yeah, no, I'm proficient in animal handling under wisdom.
Okay.
In case that ever comes up. A 3.
Okay, so yeah, it's a snake and it's on fire.
Cool. I'm glad it appears. So the snake thing appears to be unharmed, probably.
You're trying to check on it?
Yes, because we get more if it's alive, and we can blackmail the guy because I got eaten.
If we're even gonna give it to him, it's not his goods.
Well, here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I'm thinking. We just swing by that other guy's house, see if he'll give us more, or something better. Maybe don't bring the worm to him, in case he tries to take it from us, but we could go talk to him, and see if he wants to buy it for more.
Are we going to try
and particularly underhanded. Alezi doesn't look very happy with the suggestion.
Besides, like, the problem with that plan is where would we even keep it? It's look at the little thing. Look at the guy. He's so small, and who knows how many days he's been in here. He's like, how are you going to hide a glowing worm?
Alezi is also going to peek in, knowing that Oona was trying to check and look-see. So she's going to make an insight check. 17.
All right. So you get the impression that this is definitely a at most adolescent creature. It's a little awkward in its movements as it kind of tries to back away from you as you peek in. It is terrified, and it's probably hungry as well.
Alezi sighs and looks to Oona and shrugging her shoulders. What do these things eat, anyway?
Oona, you have no idea. However, Flynn, you made a much better check earlier, so you would understand that it eats ashes.
Ashes?
Yes.
Okay.
Like it finds something flammable, burns it up, and then consumes what's left.
Aren't we surrounded by ashes at this point because of all the fire from the webs earlier?
Actually, yes, there's ash everywhere.
Alright,
Okay.
so did Flynn tell
us.
her?
Yes.
Okay, so, then Alezi is just going to walk over to the biggest pile of ashes that she can find, scoop some up, and she's going to bring it back and carefully try to kind of push it into the box without burning herself.
Okay, so it takes you a little bit to gather up enough ashes to actually be some kind of substantial thing, because web doesn't, like, as web burns away, it doesn't leave a whole lot. But you do manage to gather up, like a handful and a half, basically. And so you, but let's say you take your ruined javelin and kind of use that to push the ashes into the hole. And the snake immediately leaps at the ashes and starts eating it up. Make an animal handling check with advantage.
Alright. 19.
19. Alright. As it eats up, it definitely seems to calm down a little bit.
Okay.
It seems more at ease around you.
Right. So, the thing's calmed down at least. Still might try to get away, but it's, not starving anyway.
Okay, well, at least we know how to feed it if we decide to keep it. I'm just saying.
What
I
would
don't
we
think- I
even
don't-
do with a snake made
I
of
don't
rocks?
think we're going to keep it. I think we're going to give it to one person or the other. I just think we should go talk to the other guy first.
I mean, but what are they gonna do with it?
Maybe it's actually his.
Did we bother to ask?
Actually, whose?
Talk
Talks?
what he's gonna use it for?
No one
the,
ever asked.
the other guy, the guy on the...
Well, yeah, it's
Address label.
actually his. It has his address on the box.
And maybe he's willing to give us more money, or something better than money.
Or maybe we should just give it to him anyway, because Talk screwed us over by sending us in here.
Actually, Alezi, I have an interesting question. He said it was being smuggled through the Northern Ridge, right? So why would it have an address? If it was, did they like rob a caravan, or did they just like steal off this guy's porch?
Obviously, all of this was stolen goods.
Because it was through the Northern Ridge. Am I remembering that right?
I mean, he said they were being smuggled in the first place. You usually smuggle stolen goods, don't you?
Yeah, but I don't usually leave the label on. Hypothetically, that's
well,
what they say in
these
books
guys
anyway.
weren't
Why
that
would you leave it
smart.
labeled?
Here's what I think. Talk is the middleman, and this thing is gonna go to that guy anyway. But Talk is gonna... My bet is that Talk is gonna flip that worm and sell it for 800 or 1,000 to this guy. And we should just cut out the middleman. Go talk to him. It's his. He might give us more for it.
I think that's a stupid reason for going directly to the guy, but yeah, let's go directly to the guy.
Are we sure we don't? Because I just realized we never asked what he actually wanted this worm for.
I don't care.
Okay, I'll go with the squad then on this, since we're arguing in a cave of spiders.
The spiders are gone. There are no webs left, so the spiders don't have anywhere to hang out. But
Oona never
is a
forgive.
it is a cave that had spiders in it, and is also where Oona was eaten.
Oona will never forget or forgive.
Never forget
There's-
the bite of, what year is it?
I'm not going to justify that with a response. There's also a vaguely Oona-shaped puddle where she was laying earlier, so...
That's even funnier. Okay, so...
Did she pee when she went unconscious?
It would have still been in the mimic if it happened, so you'll never know. So
I'd like to insight check her.
No, I will not allow it.
For the glowing stone things, they just need spells, right?
Yes, spells at first tier or better.
Okay.
And that will power them for 24 hours. There are 2 stones.
Do I need to power both stones to get this thing moving? Will this get us out faster, or will it just kind of like? Is there a way to get out? How are we getting out with these? I just know that they float. What happens after that?
You can drag them behind you, and they you don't have to worry about the weight of the box, which looks pretty substantial, and also the thing inside is literally seems to be made of stone, so it might be quite dense. And also, the box is too hot to touch. You have to hold it from the handle, and that comes with handling risks. So maybe that's not a good idea. You could try to get out of here without using the carts, but it would be more difficult. It would probably be slower, and people might get burned in the box.
Yeah. I was just wondering how they even got these down here, because the way it was, the path we took, the way it was described to me.
There are other paths leading into this chamber than the one that you took, so they came in from a different direction.
Okay. All right. Then
Can I investigate, see if there are tracks or anything to see if there's a quicker way out?
You can certainly try. That would be a survival check, not an investigation, because you're looking
Survival?
for tracks.
Okay.
Yes.
Survival. Oh, that's a big number. That's a big fat 0.
Yeah. Well, that's still a 19. So here's the thing. This is a cave with stone floors. You don't really leave tracks, but you do occasionally, knock over a stalagmite or something. And you do see signs like disturbed stones or the like coming from one of the passages, but it looks like this is the way they were coming in, going toward Leyline. Like, if you with that survival check, I'll say you have enough of a sense of direction to kind of orient yourself and know that way that trail leads out of Leyline and to the northern side. Now, you will have to come out of Leyline to go to the Sunrise District, because that's outside of the technical city limits. But to get to Sunrise, you'll have to cross the Leyline River, which runs through the center of the city. And it might be easier to do that from within Leyline than finding a bridge outside of the city.
Okay. So back the way we came is probably best.
In your judgment, that would probably, at the very least, that would be the easiest route. It may not, it certainly won't be the stealthiest. You will definitely, going the other way, you would be less likely to find other people, but you also might run into more creatures. You have no idea how far it is to get out of this cave.
Okay.
I cast detect magic and charm person to get the cart going.
It does not matter what spells you cast. You're just using a first tier spell slot, so it doesn't actually matter. You're just transferring mana to the stones.
Okay.
So you get one of the carts going. The other two carts look like the stones have been damaged enough that you're not going to be able to salvage them, but this one looks usable still. So you get it going. The cart starts hovering like a foot and a half off the ground, and it carries the weight of the box effortlessly.
Cool.
So I tell the party, do we want to go the stealthy way or the quick way? You guys vote.
I think we should go the safe way.
Safe way.
Is that the stealthy way? The way they came? There's a stealthy way and the quick way. Which is the safe way to you guys?
So they want to go the safe way, is what they're saying, dude.
Yeah, but which one is the safe to them? The one that gets out quicker, or the one that gets out
that you know
stealthier?
that there's not more monsters in, I imagine.
So then the way we came.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, and just a note, it's getting pretty late for me and Renee.
Okay. Do you guys how are you guys willing to stay up late, or do you guys want to turn in?
I can't stay up too much longer tonight.
Okay.
It shouldn't be a problem after this session, though.
Okay. Well, we're actually reaching a really good point to wrap up. So, you guys all decide to go the safe way, and there are lots of groceries there, and we are not
Been in
sponsored by
California
Safeway.
too long.
Yeah, I have. There's Safeway like a block and a half away that I do a lot of shopping at, so that's immediately what I thought of. Anyway, you guys head back out the way you came, and make your I'm going to presume you either kept in mind a map of the way you went in your heads, or marked your way in some way, just to be nice this time, and are able to navigate your way out of the caves and out of the Northern Ridge area without further incident.
Is the boar still there?
The what?
The boar.
Is the boar still there?
Oh, yes, it is actually.
This time
Yes,
Alezi takes the lead.
Okay.
So you bring your boar with you. You head out the caves, and nothing notices you, or that you know of, and nothing stops you from getting out of the Northern Ridge. So you make it back to Shadeside.
Did we wait until morning since it was nighttime, basically nighttime when we
Yeah.
left?
So it's in the middle of the night. And Oona, your clothes are still ruined. So might be a good idea, and you're still covered in slime. So maybe wanna clean up a bit before you go seeing other people. Hello? Testing. Hello?
I'm
Hello?
here. Uh-oh.
There went someone. There went.
Yeah. That were Oona.
All right.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys heard what I was saying or not, but what I was saying
Yeah,
was
we should take a long rest before
Yeah,
we talk to people.
it's the middle of the night. Oona is covered in slime and her clothes barely work anymore. Like you maybe want to loan her a cloak because whoops. But this would not be a suitable time probably to go anywhere. When you get back to the rainy day tavern, the goblin is gone. And Ben, most of the customers are gone. It's really late. Ben is at the bar, wiping things down. Oona immediately leaves to go up to her room, presumably to shower and find new clothes because
All right.
things were bad.
I want to have Alezi immediately go up to Ben.
Ben looks up. Welcome back. How'd it go?
So I guess do you know
One
anyone
second.
but
1 second. Oona, I had you, the group has made it back to the Rainy Day Tavern, and I had you go back to your room because your clothes are ruined and, you probably need a cloak to keep from exposing yourself at this point. And,
Okay, that's fine.
You're also covered in ooze, so, I presumed you would have gone up to your room while you were disconnected.
Yeah, no, that's fine. What's his face isn't there, right?
The
Talk Talk's
is
not
gone.
there.
Alright,
Um,
so, alright. Alezi's talking to Ben.
Mm-hmm.
So he just asked me how it went, and I say, so Oona almost died. So anyway, do you know anyone by the name of and I kind of try to think of the address, say Murdoch Metalmender?
Alright, well, almost is better than did, so good job on your first outing, I guess. Anyway, Metalmender. I've heard the name before. I don't remember where. Crap. I'm sorry. I don't know. I know I've heard the name, but I don't know. I can't place it. I don't know.
Alright. And, how has Ben treated us before this?
Ben has been a pretty cool dude, especially in a place like Shadeside that is fairly rough. Ben, first of all, he seems to have the respect of the people around. He's well liked. And, the arrangement that he's gotten for you guys to stay at this inn has been pretty beneficial while you try to get your feet.
Alright, so it's definitely someone that Alezi would just trust.
Yeah, Ben seems like a legit pretty cool dude.
Okay. Alright, so Alezi just kind of grunts disappointedly. Say, we'll find him eventually. Do you know where that Talk guy is? Is he staying here tonight?
Nah, I'm the kind of guy who knows people, you understand, so, found out that he was looking for some work, and, told him to come here and meet you guys, is what happened. He has his own place, he lives, out in the shingle, I think.
Alright. Where is Flynn? What's Flynn doing?
I'm right here. I'm like 5 feet away from you.
Alright.
Ben pours
Just
you
listening
each a beer. It's not high quality stuff, but it'll get you drunk.
Oh, Alezi just chugs that.
On the house, for a job well done.
You have my thanks. Needed this.
I could tell. All of you have at least a little blood on you. Hope it's not yours.
A little bit of it is, but
Could be worse, I guess.
oh, definitely. Oona got swallowed.
Ha. What? So,
Flynn says from behind. That's what she said.
Is Flynn close enough to where Alezi can elbow him?
5
Can
feet
I-
away, no.
Can I make a dexterity saving throw?
You're 5 feet away. That's a bit too far for an elbow.
Una's
Anyway.
upstairs burning her clothing, because oh my god.
Just
Yeah,
throw it
like-
into the fire. Suddenly, we smell this horrid, rank smell.
I mean, if you're actually burning it, that is true. Like that does not smell right. Anyway, Ben doesn't.
No, she
seem to
burned it.
Ben doesn't seem to notice the smell. It's like, huh? Well, didn't look like the fun type either. Well, hope she has a change of clothes at least.
If not, I have 2 costumes to wear.
Una's gonna wear her royal attire.
Well, you guys let me know if you need anything. I'm busy closing up.
Yeah, thanks. I gotta figure out what to do with this thing.
I mean, Tok will probably be back tomorrow around 4 or 5 o'clock. Just give it to him then, right?
I didn't look at this one.
Yeah, well, this box still has a hole in it.
He looks to the box, and you can actually, if you look forward to it, you actually see that the salamander peeks out and is staying in the box, but is looking at the group kind of almost curiously. Huh. Crap. That's no good. Shit. None of my stuff is gonna be fireproof. Okay. Let me try this. And he comes out from behind the bar and goes over to the box and starts casting a spell, and it actually partially seals up the hole. The thing can still peek out, but it doesn't have enough room to actually get out of the box. Anybody with with proficiency in Arcana would know that he cast a mending spell.
Alright, well, Alezi comes over and checks the work and says, that'll do. She kind of takes some of the ash that she gathered out of her pouch and sprinkles it in there.
The snake eats it up and seems to be appreciative. Ben goes, probably won't hold for long, but it'll do for the night at least.
Yeah. Still don't know if we're gonna give it to that guy.
Why not?
Well, the address on the box doesn't say his name, you see.
Oh, okay. That sounds about right. You learn not to ask too many questions of people when you live in Shadeside, you understand. Anyway, for the moment, I can keep it in the basement, I guess, and that should keep it so that, won't be bothering customers.
Thanks. We appreciate it.
You guys know the way to the basement. You can get it when you need it.
Yeah.
And he leaves you guys to the bar and takes the cart down to the basement. Unfortunately, the hoverstones make it so that he can guide it downstairs fairly easily. So, Alezi and Flynn are alone at the bar. Shall
Una's
we?
cursing. Una's cursing while she scrubs.
And I think that's a good time to wrap it up for tonight.
Alright.
Good first session, folks. Hope you enjoyed.
Yay!
Woo!
One of us
Yeah.
almost died!
Yeah.
And it would be the person with the healing spell.
So the way the way I see encounters, the best designed encounters are ones that are if they're supposed to be lethally potentially dangerous. What I want to happen is for at least one player to get knocked out, but for no one to actually die. So, feeling good about this start.
Yeah, this was great. I think
Indeed.
it was really good for our character's skill level.
Indeed. I'm still learning 5th edition a little bit, and balancing for 3 people versus 4 or 5 people is significantly different. So I was a little concerned. Now, sharp-eared viewers would note that I did not use the full HP for the giant spiders or the mimic, but that seemed like a reasonable compromise for only having 3 party members. The other cat was straight from the book, and so were the gray oozes, although I gave the oozes some ranged attacks, and that's the only real things I changed. You'll almost never see me use monsters straight from the book, so I like to add little bits that make them a little bit more, or a little bit less, as the case may be. So, yeah, I'm very pleased with that. Well, let's wrap up this recording. So, I've been Proven Paradox. I currently don't have anything else to really shill for, so that's it. What about the rest of you?
No?
I'm good.
I can chill.
Go for it.
I have a Patreon for my art. It's patreon.com/KQD, and you'll probably see a lot of art based around our characters here and this campaign. So those posts will be for free, so you can come and take a look and consider donating.
And if I put this up on YouTube, I might use those as thumbnails with permission, of course.
And since she's self-promoting, I guess I will too.
Yeah, this is the time to self-promote. I was like, why aren't you talking about that webcomic you do?
Yeah, I didn't think it was. I didn't think you want me to, but anyway,
it's the end of the episode. This is the place for that kind of thing.
My webcomic is at www.betweenthelines.comic.com, and it also has a Patreon at Squirrel Bro. That's Squirrel BRO, not W, BRO, and there you can get lots of cool little extras and side stuff on the Patreon, and the webcomic updates every Wednesday and every Sunday.
Excellent.
Wait,
Got anything for us, Renee?
No, I am slightly pathetic, and I don't have any Patreon or anything specific going on the internet at the moment.
Your Tumblr. Shell out your Tumblr. You have
my
pretty arts.
I do have pretty arts. So you guys can go view my art at Rebecca Renee Beets, and Beets is spelled BEETS .tumblr.com. If you are not interested in Tumblr, feel free to check out my Instagram, which is core to the core. Core, the first core spelled with a K and the second spelled with a C, so good luck with that.
We'll put it in the description.
Yeah, you guys can find my art there. Yeah, you definitely want to check it out if you want to see pictures of Oona. I've been working on her like crazy, and that's why I was so upset when I was down to 1 HP.
Alright, cool. Alright, so thanks for listening, listeners. Thanks for playing, players, and I hope you've enjoyed.